50,000 rupees. And please remember, for those viewers who are watching, Mr. Abhishek Singhvi is a high network individual. I mean, he's one of the highest taxpayers in this country. Amongst the lawyers, he charges lakhs of rupees for a minute to appear for a case. And in the same context, he said that he's been there for only 3 minutes. So is this the first time we're seeing money in Parliament? No. We have seen many of those who are speaking on the floor of the House, who are now ministers, who are masterminds for bringing money in to say and allege that there was a cash for votes that took place during the Manmohan Singh vote of confidence. There have been other instances where we have seen the BJP president in the Telka scam said, to be given money, but that was not on the floor of the House. So this is not new. But having said that, it is definitely a new precedent. It's a new way of trying to bring in politics on an issue which is really a matter of a huge security lapse. What was the CISF doing? What were the staff that were responsible for this? And is this the first time that money has been found? The people who have lost mobiles, what does the security apparatus do at that stage? Do they then ask for an inquiry to be conducted, as has been announced by the chair every time in the lost and found? These are things that need to be answered, and it has to be looked at in its entirety, not trying to make a monster of an individual who, if or not, has, as he's denied this is his money. Right. Be that as it may, we really need to get to the bottom of it, because thousands of crores are spent on securing India's parliament. And after the security breach, if this has happened once again, this is clearly a huge wake-up call for the security agencies.
Right, and of course it was Abhishek Manu Singhvi who wasn't even questioned regarding the same, and he only heard of it minutes right after that announcement that was made by Jagdeep Dhankar. Aishwarya, over to you. Without any investigation, how have they revealed the seat number and the name of the MP?
Well, in fact, Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju went on to say that there is nothing wrong in naming an MP because the seat had been allotted to Abhishek Manu Singhvi. There is no one who is directly alleging that it was Abhishek Manu Singhvi's cash and it was him who had capped that cash. The matter is under investigation. Both the opposition parties and the Treasury benches want a thorough investigation into this. Of course, Rajya Sabha leader of the House, Mr. J.P. Nadda, had stated that this is an insult to the integrity of Rajya Sabha, but it is Mr. Kharge who had stated that there should be a thorough investigation that should take place, and without coming into a conclusion, there should be no naming of the MP, to which it was Parliamentary Affairs Minister who stood up and stated that because the seat had already been allotted, there is nothing wrong, but investigation will take place and we'll get to know as to who had put that money. It could be, of course, the nearby seats of Abhishek Manu Singhvi, either 221, 220. The Congress MPs sit near Abhishek Manu Singhvi's seat in Rajya Sabha that was earlier allotted, but a statement that had come out from the Rajya Sabha chairperson clearly had not reflected any of those things which directly alleged that it was Abhishek Manu Singhvi. But on the other side, the Rajya Sabha chairperson Jagdeep Dhankar had formed a high-level committee, and I must inform you that in this high-level committee there would be senior officials from the security agency, the Rajya Sabha Secretariat, and senior MPs who will be overseeing the inquiry. There will be CCTV footages that will be also thoroughly checked as far as the reviewing of who that bundle of cash
really belong to. Absolutely. With that, we're slipping into a very short break. Back with a whole lot more. To stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro. World's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
He's the biggest name in the world of entertainment. He is the undisputed king of comedy. His name resonates everywhere. Meet the heartbeat of millions. Kapil Sharma. At the NDTV Indian of the Year Awards, 6 December 2024 on NDTV Network.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the state of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are
Welcome back. BJP MLA Kalidas Kolamkar today took oath as a pro tem Speaker of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly a day before the special three-day session of the lower house of the state legislature begins. The governor administered the oath to Kalidas Kolamkar as the pro tem Speaker. He will administer the oath of office to the newly elected MLAs, conduct the Assembly Speaker's election during the three-day special session of the 15th Assembly beginning the 7th of December. So it is the pro tem speaker who took oath today. This is after the swearing-in ceremony of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and the Deputy Chief Ministers who took oath yesterday. Today it is BJP MLA Kalidas Kolamkar who has taken oath as the pro tem speaker of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. This is just coming just in time for that special 3-day session of the lower house of the state legislature that will begin on the 7th of December. It was the Governor C.P. Radhakrishnan who administered the oath to Kalidas Kolamkar as the pro tem speaker. And the role of the pro tem speaker, of course, it will be Mr. Kolamkar who will be administering the oath of office to the newly elected 288 MLAs. He will be conducting the Assembly Speaker's election, and this is going to take place during that 3-day special session of the 15th Assembly that's going to start as early as the 7th of December. Anuj joining us. Anuj, take us to the oath-taking ceremony that took place today. It was the governor who today, in fact, administered that oath to the pro tem speaker.
Yes, Kalidas Kolamkar is the new pro tem speaker. He had served as a pro tem speaker in the earlier term as well. He's an experienced MLA here from Mumbai with an experience. He's consistently won 9 elections, and that's a record in itself when you talk about it. But now it's a formality that has been fulfilled by the Bharatiya Janata Party, because in the next 3 days we are expecting the portfolio expansion to happen and other ministers to take oath. And on the 9th, that is on Monday, we'll see the speaker taking the oath, the speaker of Vidhan Sabha taking the oath. Yesterday, while speaking to the media, Devendra Fadnavis made it very clear that before the winter session, which is going to begin later this month, they want to have an idea or a clear idea on majority of the important portfolios, and of course have the speaker in place. And the process for that has officially started today with the appointment of the pro tem speaker in Kalidas Kolamkar. But when you talk about the party dynamics amongst the different Mahayuti partners, Shiv Sena and NCP Ajit Pawar factions, they both have started their internal meetings for the kind of approach they're going to have when it comes to choosing leaders amongst themselves. Or nominating them for becoming ministers. One fundamental change that we might see from last time around is that both Shiv Sena and NCP came with a set of leaders from their original parties, erstwhile united NCP and Shiv Sena, which is why it became a sort of their responsibility to kind of do justice and give as many ministerial berths to the people who had come with them as possible. But this time around, because it was a pre-poll arrangement, all the three parties fought under the same leadership. And, there are several other MLAs as well, which is why we can see several fresh faces from both the parties, that is Shiv Sena and NCP, taking oath in the next 2 or 3 days.
Right. Thank you so much, Anuj, for joining us with all those details. And of course, that very crucial meeting that took place at Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis' house today, before that announcement that comes about as far as the distribution of portfolios is concerned. And that discussion has come up today. And of course, waiting for that announcement as well. With that, we're slipping to a short break. Back with a whole lot more. Stay with us.
This week on India Ascends.
Dhaka continues to descend into chaos. Time for New Delhi to think out of the box. Growth rate bummer. How India Inc. can bounce back. Why is Trump's dream crumbling? Are these just bad appointments, or is something bigger at play? And the real K-drama unfurls in Seoul politics. Why South Korea's democracy is flawed.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
He's the biggest name in the world of entertainment. He is the undisputed king of comedy. His name resonates everywhere. Meet the heartbeat of millions. Kapil Sharma. At the NDTV Indian of the Year Awards, 6 December 2024 on NDTV Network.
becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV.
Welcome back. Time to get you some international news now. And Syrian rebels captured the city of Hama, a major victory in a week-long lightning advance across northern Syria and a devastating new blow to President Bashar al-Assad and his Russian and Iranian allies. After years locked behind frozen front lines, the rebels have burst forth to mount the swiftest battlefield advance by either side since a rebellion against Assad descended into civil war 13 years ago. The capture of Hama gives them control of a strategic central city they never managed to seize before. An Israeli strike tore through a tent camp for displaced Palestinians in southern Gaza, killing at least 21 people. Israel said that it was targeting Hamas militants hiding there and that it took steps to avoid harming civilians. The attack comes as Amnesty International, a human rights organization, released a report on the war in Gaza that accuses Israel of genocide, and Israel rejected that report as false. French President Emmanuel Macron said that he will name a new prime minister in the coming days to prevent France from sliding deeper into political turmoil, rejecting growing pressure from the opposition to resign. This after Michel Barnier resigned following a no confidence vote in the parliament. In a 10-minute address to the nation, Macron rejected opposition pressure to stand down, promising to stay in his post fully until the end of the mandate, which is in 2027. Macron thanked the outgoing Prime Minister for his dedication during his brief term as Prime Minister and accused the French far-right and hard-left of collaborating in an anti-Republican front to bring down the government. The collapse of France's government failed to produce a renewed sense of hope amid strikers gathered in Paris on Thursday to protest proposed layoffs and budget cuts in the public sector. Demonstrators expressed defiance towards the country's political class at large, predicting a new government would likely address their anger as well as their frustration. South Korean police are investigating President Yoon for allegedly insurrection over his short-lived declaration of martial law. Military officials have been questioned by MPs, and it was earlier President Yoon who accepted the resignation of Defense Minister, who apologized for the role he played in Tuesday night's shock move. Yoon has not publicly spoken since an emergency vote in Parliament early on Wednesday forced him to reverse his decision and is under pressure to resign. And getting you more news, this is South Koreans poured into streets of central Seoul to protest against President Yoon for declaring martial law. Yoon is facing an impeachment vote following the stunning but brief imposition of martial law for 6 hours. That brought armed troops into Seoul streets. The Democratic Party and other small opposition parties submitted a joint motion to impeach Yoon on Wednesday over his martial law declaration the previous night. More than 300 people have been arrested since mass protests erupted in Georgia 6 nights ago, and an increasing number of accounts that have emerged alleging violent attacks by the police. Demonstrations have continued every night since last Thursday after ruling party Georgian Dream said that it was halting the country's bid to start talks on joining the EU. Georgian Prime Minister has accused the opposition politicians of orchestrating the violence, blaming them for the injuries. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence startup xAI has raised around $6 billion in equity financing as it races to compete with other AI firms. The funding comes as the startup seeks to raise billions of dollars to provide users with an alternative to OpenAI's ChatGPT, wrapping up a funding round that has been in the works for months now and was said to value the artificial intelligence startup at more than $40 billion. A Boeing plea, a deal intended to resolve a case related to 2 fatal crashes of its plane, has been rejected by a US judge. The plane maker agreed with the United States government in July to plead guilty to 1 count of criminal fraud, face independent monitoring, and pay a $243 million fine. However, the judge, Reed O'Connor, struck down the agreement on Thursday, saying it undermined the court and the diversity requirements for hiring the monitor were contradictory. Dozens of Palestinian families in northern Gaza said that they were forcibly displaced when Israel's military expelled them from schools they were using as makeshift shelters. Families on the road have left with nowhere to go. Some left on foot, while others used motorized rickshaws, bicycles, or donkey carts to carry kids, older adults, and their remaining belongings. An 8-year-old Palestinian boy from northern Gaza who lost a limb in the latest Israel-Hamas war arrived in Portland in Oregon in the United States as part of a group of children evacuated from Gaza to receive medical treatment in the United States. Nazir was wounded after an explosion in May destroyed his family's home in Jabalia, killing his 2 sisters. He and his mother survived, but he had to have his hand amputated and she had to have her leg amputated, according to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, a non-profit that helped organize their evacuation to the United States. Now, dozens of people, including volunteers with the non-profit's local chapter, greeted Nasir and his mother with cheers, flowers, welcome signs, and gifts as they entered into the arrivals terminal in wheelchairs. More than a year after Hamas's attack, the demolition process of houses has started. Houses that were damaged to make room for new homes and allow fresh beginnings. Hamas's surprise attack and the war it triggered in Gaza have brought unprecedented death, destruction, and anguish to both Israelis and Palestinians. Facing acute shortages of food and water and lacking security, displaced Palestinians from northern Gaza have relocated to Gaza City and are now living in tents among piles of rubbish and rubble. Aid agencies are struggling to operate amid ongoing Israeli offensive as well as looting of convoys. The World Food Programme's Deputy Executive Director has warned that the level of desperation in Gaza was going up as alarming over increasing hunger in the enclave that melts. The amount of food allowed in by Israel has plunged over the past 2 months, compounded by a decision that was taken by the United Nations on the weekend to halt aid deliveries from the main crossing into the territory because of the threat of armed gangs looting convoys. Experts have already warned of famine in the northmost part of Gaza, which Israeli forces have almost completely isolated since early October, saying they're fighting recruit Hamas militants in the area. And displaced Palestinians in Gaza are barely able to secure enough bread for their families due to high flour prices and a UN agency decision to halt aid shipments through Gaza's main crossing following looting. Last month, bakeries in Dar al-Bala shuttered for several days because they didn't receive any sort of flour to make their baked goods, pushing thousands to starvation as families heavily rely on makeshift charitable kitchens and bakeries to survive. Some displaced people reported that they can only secure 1 meal a day for their families. And finally, Palestinians lined up for bags of flour distributed by the UN in central Gaza, some of whom for the first time in months amid this drop in food aid entering the territory. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugee, known as UNRWA, gave out 125 kilogram of flour to each family of 10 at a warehouse in the Nusrat refugee camp, and this is in the Khan Yunis area. Ukrainian President Zelensky's delegation met with senior representatives of the United States President-elect Donald Trump. The delegation met in Washington with Trump's choice for White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and his Ukraine ambassador Keith Kellogg. Now, the meet is seen as an aim for Ukraine to rebuild contacts with the incoming administration of Donald Trump, who has promised to end Russia's war in Ukraine upon taking office. This is the Russian Defense Ministry that's released on Tuesday. Images of what it said showed the Russian Navy and aerospace forces conducting joint exercises in the Mediterranean Sea. According to a statement, the drills involved over 1,000 servicemen, as well as 10 ships and support vessels, 24 aircrafts, including MiG-31 and fighters equipped with hypersonic missiles. Russia said that it had seized 2 more settlements in Ukraine over the past 24 hours, while Ukraine said that the situation on the front line remained tense. The Russian Defense Ministry said that its forces launched strikes on energy facilities of Ukrainian military industrial enterprises, as well as military airfield infrastructure and manpower, as well as equipment concentration areas. Now, Russia's air defense systems shot down dozens of unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian Air Force in the past day, is what the ministry had to say. In addition, the Russian troops continue to strike Ukrainian manpower and equipment in the western region of Kursk. And a Russian drone attack struck the energy infrastructure in Ukraine's western city, causing a partial blackout. Ukraine's Air Force says that Russia fired 28 missiles and drones of other types at Ukraine. The relatives of 43 student teachers who disappeared in southern Mexico more than a decade ago held their first meeting with recently appointed President Claudia, who offered to rebuild a dialogue that the relatives considered have now in fact deteriorated during the previous administration, according to the lawyer for the relatives of those disappeared. Argentinian retirees march in protest against the government's decision to limit access to free medications, affecting millions who used to get free drugs through the retirees' public health insurance government agency. The measure, which the government claims is aimed at reducing resource misuse, that has sparked outrage among retirees who rely on these benefits to survive. Most retirees receive a minimum pension of $250 US. And there's nothing that compares to the magic of New York City's spectacular holiday window displays every year. These are retailers who come up with themes and visual threats. These are treats to delight the passerbys and get people in the mood for the holiday season. The stores use cutting-edge fashion with new technology like the AI polar bear at the Ralph Lauren store, who mimics your movements and can wave as well as blow kisses at those who stop. The high-tech bear will be featured in the stores of the holiday windows, not just in New York, but also in Chicago, London, and Tokyo. While Saks Fifth Avenue is celebrating its 100th anniversary and its magnificent historic landmark building that it built in 1924. Peter Jackson and the original cast of The Lord of the Rings walk the red carpet. This is for the world premiere of The Lord of the Rings, The War. This is the new installment in London. The upcoming animated movie follows Hera, the daughter of King Helm Hammerhand, played by Brian Cox, as she protects her people from the attack of a former friend seeking revenge. This is the latest installment of The Lord of the Rings that hits theatres on the 30th of this month. Thousands of giant panda sculptures will greet residents and tourists starting Saturday in Hong Kong, where enthusiasm for the bears has grown since 2 cubs were born in a local theme park. The 2,500 exhibits were showcased in a launch ceremony of Panda Go at Hong Kong's airport on Monday. The display reflects Hong Kong's use of pandas to boost its economy as the Chinese financial hub works to regain its position as one of Asia's top tourism destinations. Pandas are considered China's unofficial national mascot. The country's giant panda loan program with overseas zoos has long been seen as a tool of Beijing's soft power diplomacy. Sean Penn has blasted the organizers of the Oscars for being coward, is what he had to say, in effect, that it limits the kind of films that can be funded and made. The 64-year-old actor said at the Marrakesh Film Festival that he gets excited about the Academy Awards only on the rare occasion that films that he values are nominated, adding that producers of the Academy have exercised really extraordinary cowardice when it comes to being part of the world of expression, and in fact have largely been part of limiting the imagination and limiting different cultural expressions, is what Sean Penn had to say at the festival, where he received a Career Achievement Award this year. Now, as part of a career tribute, the Marrakesh Film Festival screened 4 of his films in Morocco's tourism capital. Local media in Morocco reported several audience members exiting a screening of Milk during a scene depicting 2 men in bed, as homosexuality is illegal under Morocco's penal code. The actor, whose film Superpower documents war in Ukraine, also voiced support for President Zelensky. Almost 1,000 Squid Game fans got to play the red light, green light game on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. 50,000 candidates signed up to participate in this event. 909 people were drawn at a random, and they are the ones who made it to the cut. 10,000 people came to cheer on the contestants, and the event celebrated the release of Squid Game Season 2 that's coming out on Netflix on the 26th of December. Rocky Balboa fans are ready to go the extra distance by bus, by ice skates, by 72 steps to honor Philly's favorite fictional fighter almost 50 years after the first movie launched the enduring series of an underdog boxer. This is despite all odds. The Rocky Fest officially opened when the second cast of the Rocky statue was unveiled at top of the Rocky steps, where the original film was featured. The original was featured in Rocky 3 and will remain there till the 31st of December. Many students ran up the stairs to kick off the events. The who's who of the fashion world braved the cold in London to attend the star-studded British Fashion Awards at the city's iconic Royal Albert Hall. It was Rihanna posed with her partner ahead of him being honoured, while Tom Ford was also recognised with the Outstanding Achievement Award.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7.
every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
This week on India Ascends.
Dhaka continues to descend into chaos. Time for New Delhi to think out of the box. Growth rate bummer. How India Inc. can bounce back. Why is Trump's dream crumbling? Are these just bad appointments or is something bigger at play? And the real K-drama unfurls in Seoul politics. Why South Korea's democracy is flawed.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
He's the biggest name in the world of entertainment. He is the undisputed king of comedy. His name resonates everywhere. Meet the heartbeat of millions. Kapil Sharma. At the NDTV Indian of the Year Awards, 6 December 2024 on NDTV network.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Welcome back. US investment banker JP Morgan has given an overweight rating on 4 bonds of the Adani Group, including 3 issued by Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone and 1 by Adani Electricity Mumbai Limited, a subsidiary of the Adani Energy Solutions. The ability to scale and grow using internal cash flows in the case of Adani Ports gives us some strong comfort on the intrinsic equity value of such a business, which in turn reduces the scope for credit stress, is what that report of JP Morgan had to say.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
This week on India Ascends.
Dhaka continues to descend into chaos. Time for New Delhi to think out of the box. Growth rate bummer. How India Inc. can bounce back. Why is Trump's team crumbling? Are these just bad appointments or is something bigger at play? And the real K-drama unfurls in Seoul politics. Why South Korea's democracy is flawed.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
He's the biggest name in the world of entertainment. He is the undisputed king of comedy. His name resonates everywhere. Meet the heartbeat of millions. Kapil Sharma. At the NDTV Indian of the Year Awards, 6 December 2024 on NDTV Network.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. It's a web of
Hello and welcome. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj and you're watching NDTV. It's 3 o'clock. Let's look at the top headlines and the news stories we are tracking here at this hour. Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal accuses Bharatiya Janata Party of seeking to remove numerous voters from Delhi's electoral rolls before the upcoming assembly elections. Farmers are holding march towards Parliament from Shambhu border, demanding minimum support price. Layers of barricading broken. Congress MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi responds to Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar's charge of currency notes being found at his seat and clarifies that he only carries a single ₹500 note to the upper house. Bengaluru residents may soon face a hike in Kaveri water and power tariffs as the state government mulls the next plan. No relief in EMIs. RBI keeps repo rate unchanged for the 11th consecutive time. Growth target lowered to 6.6% for the financial year of 2025. Banks given window for additional lending funds. And Congress MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi on Friday responded to Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar's charge of currency being found at his seat and clarified that he only carries a single ₹500 note to the upper house. He said that he has never heard of it until now and he was inside the house for 3 minutes. He entered inside the house at 12:57 p.m. and then left at 1 p.m. Now, in the statement that was put up by Manu Singhvi on the social media platform X, he said that there should be seats allocated inside the house if that's the case. On Friday, remember, Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar disclosed that security staff recovered currency notes from seat number 222 allocated to Singhvi following Thursday's House session. The revelation sparked opposition protests with leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, objecting to naming the member before completing the investigation. However, the BJP has linked it to corruption. Let's listen into the war of words.
Fantastic, laughable story. If it was not serious about security lapses and entry into Rajya Sabha, it would be laughable. I started saying that possibly we should now have a barbed wire fencing around the entire seat, or a glass enclosure which you can lock and go home when you leave the seat. Because anybody can come and put ganja, rupiah, anything else in that seat when you are away. Fortunately or unfortunately, I came at 12:57 inside the house after signing my attendance. 1 o'clock the house rose, I went and had lunch with Ayodhya Rami Reddy in the canteen and then I went away. I think more important is that everything in the house should not lead to cheap tactics and arop, pratyarop, allegation, counter-allegation for everything.
I request you, sir, yourself told that it will be investigated and after investigation only you can come to the conclusion. We never objected that you should not investigate. Have we objected? You suppress so many things and you people do that. We don't do that. It is your quality. It is your quality.
I hereby inform
that during the routine anti-sabotage check of the chamber after the adjournment of the House yesterday, apparently a wad of currency notes was recovered by the security officials from seat number 222, presently allotted to Sri Abhishek Manu Singhvi, elected from the state of Telangana for the term 2024 to 2026. The matter was brought to my notice, and I felt it expedient, as per practice and ordainment, to ensure that investigation takes place in accordance with law, and the same is underway.
Today, when Rajya Sabha proceeding started, Honorable Chairperson has brought a very surprising and sensational fact in front of the House. That yesterday, after the proceeding of House completed, during the anti-sabotage check by the security personnel, they found certain currency notes on a particular seat that was allotted to a Congress leader. And he was expecting that somebody will come to claim that money. But to surprise of everybody, nobody can claim. And when it was said, the things were put on the floor of the House, rather than claiming or clarifying, they have started opposing. It means they are having so much of money, they don't bother that how much currency notes have been left here, there, even in the House or outside there. It may be because there are several occasions and several allegations on Congress party on illegal money and corruption. So I would like to ask them that you are the party who put on allegation without any substantive base to government. Now there is a substantive, evidential, material fact available on the floor of the House, और उसका तो कोई हिसाब ही मांगने नहीं आया.
Now, Rajya Sabha chairman has implemented a committee to look into the allegations that have been put up against Congress MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi, that who does this cash belongs to. My colleague Aishwarya Jain is also joining me. Aishwarya, how will the probe take place? We are hearing that a committee has been formed.
Well, the Rajya Sabha chairperson had formed a high-level committee as far as the investigation is concerned, because it is the opposition parties and the treasury benches both wanted thorough investigation into it. What Abhishek Manu Singhvi stated in his statement as he arrived at the parliament today is some serious claims. He stated that he first of all denied all the allegations against him, that the cash belongs to him. He stated that from tomorrow onwards, if somebody keeps a ganja or a cash at my seat, then it would be again alleged that this belongs to that particular person whose allotted seat belongs to that particular member of parliament. So this needs a thorough investigation. And of course, the treasury benches and the opposition had welcomed the investigation, and therefore the reason perhaps the Rajya Sabha chairperson had now formed a high-level committee in which the officers would be from the Rajya Sabha secretariat. There would be security officials and member of parliaments as well, and this committee will check the CCTV footages, because 24/7 there is a CCTV surveillance. This is a high security zone that is the Parliament of India, and therefore the reason perhaps after all of those checking, there would be this committee report that will be handed over to Rajya Sabha chairperson. Now, nobody had claimed so far about this cash that had been found in a anti-sabotage drive that takes place usually every day after the session gets over, and therefore the reason perhaps 50,000 rupees had been recovered, and now the investigation will take place. But the Bharatiya Janata Party had leveled attacks on the Congress party. They stated that the Congress in the past as well had been under the scanner, where crores and crores of rupees had been found from their leaders, and therefore the reason perhaps they also tried to link it with the black money, but perhaps it is all part of the investigation that we will get to know. But one thing is for sure, Abhishek Manu Singhvi had denied the allegations, whatever was leveled against him, and neither the Rajya Sabha chairperson had named him. It is just that seat that was allocated to Abhishek Manu Singhvi, from which the cash was found.
Absolutely. War of words continue. It remains to be seen when the probe will be when will the probe be completed in this matter. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining us with those details. Now, clashes have erupted at the Shambhu border, where farmers who have been camping at the Punjab-Haryana borders for over 9 months resumed their protest march to Parliament. This afternoon, they are protesting and demanding over a host of issues, including a legal guarantee for a minimum support price. Farmers have been stationed at Shambhu and Kannauj borders since February 13, and now they are demanding that the government should come forward and hold direct dialogues with them and assure them that the MSP will be given to them. The Haryana police had added 3 layers of barricading towards the Punjab side. A wire mesh and traffic barricades were put up, but we can see in the visuals how the farmers tried to surpass those barricades. The march is scheduled to conclude at Parliament, but right now several farmers have been detained at the Shambhu border while trying to break the barricades that were put up by the police there. Now, several demands have been raised by them, including MSP. Meanwhile, the government has come forward and said that they are ready to give the MSP, unlike the previous governments. Sample the reactions.
आदरणीय जयराम रमेश जी का मैं बहुत आदर करता हूं। उन्होंने पूछा है कि एमएसपी के बारे में उनकी राय, मेरी राय क्या है। बहुत पवित्र राय है। हम 50% लागत का 50% से ज़्यादा मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस तय करेंगे और खरीदने का भी काम करेंगे। आपने नहीं खरीदा, मैं एक एक आंकड़ा पढ़ के बता सकता हूं। कांग्रेस की जब सरकार थी, कभी एमएसपी पे आपने खरीद नहीं की। किसान खून के आंसू रोता था, लेकिन मेरे लिए किसानों की सेवा भगवान की पूजा है और यही मान के उनकी सेवा के काम में निरंतर लगे रहेंगे। एमएसपी पर किसानों को उत्पाद खरीदा है और अब भी पूरा उत्पाद खरीदेंगे।
Now, in the wake of the protest march that is being held from Shambhu border to Parliament, heavy barricading has been done and traffic snarls are being witnessed in national capital. Not just national capital, in Ambala district as well, administration banned gathering of 5 or more people. Internet services have been suspended in Ambala. Currently, the farmers are stationed at Shambhu border. There is heavy police barricading at the site. And in a scathing attack on the BJP, Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal has accused BJP of seeking to remove numerous voters from Delhi's electoral rolls before the upcoming assembly elections. Kejriwal held a press conference and stated that BJP submitted applications to the Election Commission of India to delete thousands of voters' registrations in several constituencies including Shadra, Janakpuri and Lakshmi Nagar. Meanwhile, Delhi BJP chief has hit back at Aam Aadmi Party, saying that Arvind Kejriwal is scared and hence he is making absurd statements to hide his failure, while challenging that the Chief Minister of Delhi, Atishi, should take legal action against him. Listen in.
ये बीजेपी ने अपने लेटर हेड के ऊपर वोट कटवाने के लिए एप्लीकेशन दी है। ये 11,000 लोगों के वोट कटवाने की एप्लीकेशंस पिछले 1-1.5 महीने में ऑलरेडी दे चुके हैं और वो सिलसिला जारी है। हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन आते हैं, 1,500 लोगों के वोट कटवाने की एप्लीकेशन दे जाते हैं। 1,86,000 मोटे मोटे वोट हैं टोटल। इसमें से बीजेपी 11,000 वोट कटवाना चाहती है, यानी कि एक ही विधानसभा से 6% वोट डिलीट करवाने की एप्लीकेशन आ चुकी है। अभी पता नहीं कितनी और आएंगी। 6% वोट एक विधानसभा से अगर आप कटवा देंगे तो चुनाव का मतलब क्या? ऐसे लोगों के वोट जो एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, जो रह रहे हैं।
तो केजरीवाल, तुम्हारी चोरी पकड़ी जा रही है तो आपको बौखलाहट हो रही है। संवैधानिक संस्थाएं हैं, अगर उन पर जिस तरह की अनर्गल टिप्पणी आज केजरीवाल ने की है, तो सोचना पड़ेगा हमारे भारतीय लोकतंत्र के जितने भी कर्ता धर्ता हैं कि आखिर कितनी छूट देनी है उन लोगों को जो झूठ और चोरी करते हैं और अपने अपराध को छुपाने के लिए अनर्गल बयानबाजी करते हैं।
Ishika, my colleague is joining me. Ishika, take us through the war of words between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party over this electoral scam.
Well, it is certainly, big allegation that is coming from the side of the Aam Aadmi Party, and the war of words have intensified just right before the Delhi election. Now, today, the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo, Arvind Kejriwal, in a press conference, he alleged that the BJP is in fact trying to cut voters from the voters list, and he said that this number of deletion of, voters from the list is, above 11,000. So that is certainly a big allegation that came from his side, and we also saw the response that came from the side of the BJP calling it nothing but an absurd statement from from Kejriwal's side. And BJP also said that these voters whose name has been mentioned, they have either shifted or they are dead, and thus BJP has in fact given application to the Election Commission and names from the voter. BJP also went on allegation today that
voters from the list, it is not a child's play. It is a long procedure that has to be followed, where the booth officers, booth level officers, they go and check, and then notices are issued, and only then the names are cut. So it is they are saying it is a long procedure. So certainly now, right before the election, we are seeing that the parties, be the Aam Aadmi Party or be it in fact the BJP,
the BJP, both of them alleging that the other side is in fact trying to get fake voters in, and Aam Aadmi Party saying that the BJP should delete.
It is a war of words that is currently at play, and it's only set to intensify as the election, only comes around the corner. Over to you.
Absolutely, Ishika. Thank you so much for joining us. The elections will be held on or before February next year. It remains to be seen. Major controversies erupting just before it. Thank you so much, Ishika, for joining us. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious.
BJP MLA Kalidas Kolambar took an oath today as the pro tem speaker of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, a day before the special 3-day session of the lower house of the state legislature begins. The governor administered the oath. Kalidas Kolambar as pro tem speaker, he will administer the oath of office to the newly elected MLAs, conduct the assembly speaker's election during the 3-day special session of the 15th assembly beginning December 7.
He served as a pro tem speaker in the earlier term as well. He's an experienced MLA here from Mumbai with an he's consistently won 9 elections, and that's a record in itself when you talk about it. But now it's a formality that has been fulfilled by the Bharatiya Janata Party, because in the next 3 days we are expecting the portfolio expansion to happen and other ministers to take oath. And on the 9th, that is on Monday, we will see the speaker taking the oath, the speaker of Vidhan Sabha taking the oath. Yesterday, while speaking to the media, Devendra Fadnavis made it very clear that before the winter session, which is going to begin later this month, they want to have an idea or a clear idea on the majority of the important portfolios, and of course have the speaker in place. And the process for that has officially started today with the appointment of the pro tem speaker in Kalidas Kolamkar. But when you talk about the party dynamics amongst the different Mahayuti partners, Shiv Sena and NCP Ajit Pawar factions, they both have started their internal meetings for the kind of approach they're going to have when it comes to choosing leaders amongst themselves or nominating them for becoming ministers. One fundamental change that we might see from last time around is that both Shiv Sena and NCP came with a set of leaders from their original parties, erstwhile united NCP and Shiv Sena, which is why it became a sort of their responsibility to kind of do justice and give as many ministerial berths to the people who had come with them as possible. But this time around, because it was a pre-poll arrangement, all the 3 parties fought under the same leadership, and there are several other MLAs as well, which is why we can see several fresh faces from both the parties, that is Shiv Sena and NCP.
Now shifting our attention to Bengaluru, where residents may soon face a hike in Kaveri water tariffs as the state government moves forward with plans to revise the tariff structure. Amid severe water crisis, Bengaluru likely to hike tariffs soon. The proposed increase aims to address the growing demands on the city's water supply and ensure sustainable operations of the Bengaluru Water Supply and Sewage Board. With demand surging in Bengaluru and in the agriculture sector, the Bengaluru Electricity Supply Company has also proposed a tariff hike of 67 paise per unit for the next financial year in its multi-year tariff application filed before the Karnataka Electricity Regulatory Commission. The power utility has also proposed a steep tariff hike of 75 paise per unit for 2026 to 27 and 91 paise hike for 2027 to 28. Now the BJP is calling it a loot, while the Congress government defends its move, saying that they have to pay the dues. Sample the reactions coming in.
It is a routine process. What they will do, the ESCOMs, they will put a proposal to KERC, Electricity Regulatory Control. And they will call all the stakeholders, they'll discuss and they'll finalize. And for the industry, that we are reducing to 5 rupees per unit. And so we are reducing it and we are giving 200 up to 200 units free the thing. And so the common man won't be affected.
You have to go for loan. If you go for 6 days, to see that Bangalore will have a better water. If you want to go loan, all those companies, trackers, international companies, Zeka is also looking at what is your, how you going to pay, what is the alarm asking. We are just examining the issue. I cannot tell that right now, but my officers are examining this.
Increase in tariff, this is being touted as a routine exercise that is being undertaken by both the water department as well as the electricity department here. It's not just in Karnataka, this happens across all boards, across every state, across the nation. This has been the statement that has been provided by those in the electricity as well as the water department here. And the energy minister in the meantime has also clarified that this will in no way affect those who have been availing the Griha Jyoti scheme, which is one of the guarantee schemes provided by the Congress government that ensures free electricity up to 200 units here. Now, talking about this particular tariff, the 200 units electricity would be looking into an average of the last financial year, which is below 200 units, and those are the people who can avail this service, and anything up to around 10% and above would be charged around 6 to 7 rupees per unit. That has been the procedure that has been followed as far as those who have availed this service. Now, talking about the increase in the tariff, how will this affect the common man is something that needs to be seen in terms of the exercise as well as the implementation of it. On the other hand, the energy minister has promised that this will in no way affect those who have availed this service. This will only be targeting a large-scale corporation or an organization of businessmen and top honchos who would be utilizing large units of electricity. Now, this will definitely need to be closely watched in terms of how it would affect the deep pockets of the common man, both in terms of having water, consuming water, as well as consuming electricity here.
They are involved in deep-rooted corruption, right from the chief ministers to all his cabinet colleagues are involved in deep-rooted corruption, looting the public. And once they're looting the public, the exchequer is empty. They're not even able to provide basic governance. So again, they're burdening the common man. Already they've increased the prices of petrol and diesel, stamp duty. Now they're wanting to increase the electricity prices. It is not surprising that this is such an anti-people government found by the Congress. And they're only justifying giving various reasons. But at the end of the day, we have to be very clear that governance has taken a big hit in the state of Karnataka due to the failure of this Congress government to plan properly. And of course, corruption is in the DNA of Congress. So therefore, the coffers are running dry only because of corruption, and only to ensure to collect the money from people, they're doing this. I don't think we should be debating this because all of us are aware. The entire country is aware that how Congress is looting the public.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7.
US investment banker JP Morgan has given an overweight rating on 4 bonds of the Adani Group, including 3 issued by Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone and 1 by Adani Electricity Mumbai Limited, a subsidiary of Adani Energy Solutions. The ability to scale and grow using internal cash flows in the case of Adani Ports gives us strong comfort on the intrinsic equity value of such a business, which in turn reduces the scope for credit stress. This is what the JP Morgan report says. Under the risks section, it said that Adani bonds could do well than anticipated if there is a quick resolution to the allegations made against it. Now, Congress MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi has responded to Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar's charge of currency being found at his seat and clarified that he only carries a single ₹500 note to the upper house. He even gone ahead and said that he was inside the house only for 3 minutes. He entered inside the house at 12:57 p.m. yesterday and left at 1 p.m. Then he was inside the canteen till 1:30 p.m. and left with Ayodhya Rami Reddy. And then he says that this is laughable that such allegations are being put up without any probe being conducted inside the matter. Now, Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar has disclosed that security staff recovered currency notes from seat number 222 allocated to Mr. Singhvi following Thursday's House session. The revelation sparked protests among opposition leaders, with the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, registering strong opposition to the remarks being made. He said that naming the member before completing the investigation is unethical. Listen to the words.
Fantastic, laughable story. If it was not serious about security lapses and entry into Rajya Sabha, it would be laughable. I started saying that possibly we should now have a barbed wire fencing around the entire seat, or a glass enclosure which you can lock and go home when you leave the seat. Because anybody can come and put ganja, rupiah, anything else in that seat when you are away. Fortunately or unfortunately, I came at 12:57 inside the house after signing my attendance. 1 o'clock the house rose, I went and had lunch with Ayodhya Rami Reddy in the canteen, and then I went away. I think more important is that everything in the house should not lead to cheap tactics and arop, pratyarop, allegation, counter allegation for everything.
I request you, Sir, yourself told that it will be investigated, and after investigation only you can come to the conclusion. We never objected that you should not investigate. Have we objected? You suppress so many things, and you people do that. We don't do that. It is your quality. It is your quality.
I hereby inform that during the routine anti-sabotage check of the chamber after the adjournment of the House yesterday, apparently a wad of currency notes was recovered by the security officials from seat number.
And now let's cut across to NDTV's Indian of the Year.
Indian of the Year 2024. Now, since its inception in 2003, this platform has stood as a shining beacon of recognition, celebrating individuals, celebrating institutions that embody the very spirit of India. Over the years, it's become more than an award. It is a tribute to those who've contributed meaningfully to the idea and the identity of our nation, our India.
नमस्कार आप सबको और एक बार फिर से बहुत स्वागत है एनडीटीवी इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर। ये हिंदुस्तान की उस बेशुमार हुनर का जश्न है, उस एक्सीलेंस को सलाम करने का मंच है जो हम सब के लिए एक प्रेरणा है। दरअसल ये कार्यक्रम भारत और भारतीयता का एक समारोह है और उस कौशल का, उस विराटता का जिससे हम प्रेरणा लेते हैं। इस देश को बनाने में, आगे बढ़ाने में जितनी भूमिका हमारे महापुरुषों की रही है, उन हस्तियों की रही है जिन्हें हम जानते हैं, उतनी ही बड़ी भूमिका ऐसे अदृश्य नायकों की रही है, उन अनजान लोगों की जिन्होंने पर्दे के पीछे रहकर हमारे समाज को चुपचाप गढ़ने का काम किया है। और आज जब हम असाधारण को सम्मानित कर रहे हैं तो ये याद करना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि ये मंच हमेशा जाने पहचाने नामों से ज़्यादा उन लोगों के लिए रहा है जो पर्दे के पीछे रहे लेकिन जिन्होंने हमारे समाज को संभाला और सहेजा है। आइए हम सब मिलकर उनके सफ़र को, उनकी चुनौतियों को, हौसले और उनकी अथक कोशिशों को सलाम करें। आज हम सब इकट्ठा हुए हैं उनकी इस जीत का जश्न मनाने के लिए।
The NDTV Indian of the Year award this year is presented by the RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, powered by our wardrobe partner Raymond Lifestyle Limited, co-powered by the Gallant Group. Our gold partner is the World Gold Council. Our knowledge partner Galgotias University. Our associate partner the Usha Kakde Productions. Hairstyling partner Streaks. Inclusivity partner Max Life Insurance, along with Grant Thornton Bharat, our consulting partners for this award.
और इस अवार्ड की जो पूरी प्रक्रिया है वो कुछ महीने पहले शुरू की गई। एनडीटीवी की जो संपादकीय टीम है उन्होंने 9 जूरी कैटेगरी बनाई, हर के लिए उसके मानक तय किए। जूरी में अलग अलग क्षेत्र के जाने माने और विश्वसनीय नाम हैं। नवंबर के दूसरे हफ्ते में सब इकट्ठा हुए और हर कैटेगरी के विजेता के लिए वोट किया। संजीव गोयंका, चेयरमैन आरपी संजीव गोयंका ग्रुप की अध्यक्षता में जूरी में शामिल हैं जस्टिस AK सीकरी, एडमिरल करमबीर सिंह, आशा पारेख, पीयूष पांडे और UK सिन्हा।
When we gather to celebrate the NDTV Indian of the Year. In this edition for the year 2024, 6 eminent personalities from different walks of life came together to select the winners. Sanjeev Goenka, Chairman RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, led the jury as its chair. The other jury members were advertising legend Piyush Pandey, former Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Karambir Singh, Justice AK Sikri, former Judge Supreme Court of India, UK Sinha, former Chairman SEBI, and actor and film director Asha Parekh. The proceedings that went on for hours saw a rich debate between the jurors as they chose the best candidates in 9 categories. For the proceedings, Grant Thornton Bharat, was NDTV's consulting partner to ensure the sanctity of the award framework and process. The winners of the remaining categories were chosen by the NDTV editorial board.
So a round of applause for our eminent jury, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. It is now our great pleasure to invite on stage Mr. Sanjay Pogalia, Editor-in-Chief of the NDTV network. Sanjay ji.
Sanjay.
नमस्कार। हमारे माननीय विशेष अतिथि अश्विनी वैष्णव जी, जिनका परिचय देने में स्क्रिप्ट पे लिखा हुआ भी हो तो आप लड़खड़ा सकते हैं, क्योंकि उनके पास रेल मंत्रालय है, उसके अलावा सूचना और प्रसारण मंत्रालय है और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और आईटी मिनिस्ट्री भी है। 3 विभाग उनके पास हैं और बहुत ही व्यस्त साल रहा उनके लिए। इस बीच में आज एनडीटीवी इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर को सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए आज वो हमारे पहले मेहमान हैं। हमारे साथ शामिल होने के लिए बहुत शुक्रिया। एनडीटीवी नेटवर्क की तरफ से मैं आप सब लोगों का बहुत स्वागत करना चाहता हूं और ये मोमेंट बहुत ख़ास इसलिए है कि ये बहुत ही इवेंटफुल साल था। ऐसे में जो गंभीर काम करते हैं, जो बहुत विजिबल नहीं होते, जो इनविजिबल होते हैं, जो दूर दराज इलाकों में काम करते हैं देश के लिए, कुछ बड़े लोग होते हैं, कुछ सो कॉल्ड सामान्य लोग होते हैं, उन तमाम लोगों को ढूंढना, उनकी इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरीज़ ढूंढना, जो आज की शाम आप यहाँ पर देखेंगे कि किस तरह के इंडियंस हैं जो कितनी मेहनत करते हैं इस देश को बनाने में, और हम लोगों को उनसे क्या इंस्पिरेशन लेना चाहिए और किस तरह से उनको उस तरह के टेम्पलेट्स को फॉलो करना चाहिए ताकि हम भी सोसाइटी को कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकें। और इन लोगों को सेलेक्ट किया है जिस क्रेडिबल जूरी ने, आपने उनको भी देखा, जिसमें हमारी एनडीटीवी के जो बोर्ड के चेयरमैन हैं मिस्टर यूके सिन्हा और जो दूसरे डिस्टिंग्विश्ड लोग हैं भारत के, वो जूरी में थे। बहुत ही गहराई से अध्ययन करने के बाद इन तमाम लोगों का सिलेक्शन किया गया है और आप लोगों को मैं जो विनर हैं इस अवार्ड के, उनको बहुत विशेष रूप से बधाई और धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। आज के जो अवार्ड्स हैं, जाहिर है कि मैं सारा जो अभी रहस्य है वो खोल नहीं सकता, लेकिन सिर्फ ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि कुछ अवार्ड्स हमारे ऐसे हैं जिसको आपको देख करके बहुत ही आनंद आएगा, आपको बहुत खुशी होगी, क्योंकि उसका संबंध हमारे देश से, हमारे लोकतंत्र से, हमारे चुनाव से और हमारे आपके अपने अधिकारों से है। और आप जब इस तरह के अवार्ड का सिलेक्शन देखेंगे तो आप ये मानेंगे कि एनडीटीवी जो एक लगातार इतने बरसों से भारत में जिस प्रकार की पत्रकारिता करता आया है, वो और किस तरीके से कंट्रीब्यूट करता है इस देश में अच्छा काम करने वाले लोगों को एक्नॉलेज करने के लिए। इसके अलावा जो कैटेगरीज़ होती हैं वो आम तौर पर बिज़नेस हो, पब्लिक लाइफ हो, क्लाइमेट हो, सोशल चेंजेस हों, रूरल डेवलपमेंट के काम हों, वो सब कैटेगरीज़ होती हैं, उसके आप अवार्ड देखेंगे। लेकिन एक ख़ास अवार्ड है जिसका मैं इतना ही टीज़र दे करके छोड़ना चाहता हूं, जिसको देख करके आप लोगों को लगेगा कि वास्तव में भारत में किस तरह का काम हो रहा है और एनडीटीवी उन चीज़ों को रिकॉग्नाइज़ करने में किस तरह की भूमिका निभा रहा है। एक तरीके से आप कह सकते हैं एनडीटीवी इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर एक ऐसा अवार्ड है जिसको हमको देने में भी बहुत उत्सुकता रहती है और जिनको मिलना चाहिए और जिनको जो लेते हैं उनको भी इसका एक इंतज़ार रहता है। मैं ये भी कह सकता हूँ कि जैसे सरकार का एक अवार्ड होता है पद्मश्री का, उसी तरीके से एनडीटीवी इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर जो है वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर का पद्मा अवार्ड जैसा ही हो चुका है। मैं ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं लूँगा आपका, फिर से एक बार बताना चाहूँगा कि मिस्टर वैष्णव जो हैं वो अभी व्यस्त कार्यक्रम से जो आए हैं, मैं कह सकता हूँ कि वो इलेक्शन ऑब्जर्वर ऑफ द ईयर भी हैं। महाराष्ट्र की जीत ऐसी है कि उसका एनालिसिस और रिसर्च करने में पॉलिटिकल और चुनावी पंडितों को बहुत वक्त लगेगा और पूरी टीम तो थी ही, लेकिन भूपेंद्र जी और अश्विनी जी ये दोनों मिल करके वहाँ चुपचाप काम कर रहे थे। कोई इंटरव्यू वगैरह लेने की हमने कोशिश की, वो भी हमको नहीं मिला। इस प्रकार की चुप्पी के साथ ये लोग काम कर रहे थे और उस चुनाव की जीत के लिए मैं आपको विशेष रूप से पब्लिकली बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच। और अब आग्रह है कि मिस्टर वैष्णव स्टेज पे आए।
संजय जी ने ज़्यादा ही तारीफ़ कर दी, इसके लायक तो मैं नहीं हूँ, लेकिन चूँकि भाई हैं, बड़े भाई, तो जो आप कहेंगे वो सब स्वीकार्य होता है। NDTV इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर एक अपने आप में बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण, बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट इवेंट है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम है। सबसे जो अच्छी बात लगी, अभी मैं संजय जी से बातचीत कर रहा था, इसमें जो ऐसे लोग हैं जिनका नॉर्मली स्क्रीन पे चेहरा नहीं आता, नॉर्मली सोसाइटी में पिक्चर्स नहीं आते, फोटोग्राफ्स नहीं आते, न्यूज़ नहीं बनती, ऐसे लोगों को भी आप जो सम्मान करते हैं वो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण, वो सबसे सराहनीय, वो सबसे प्रशंसनीय है। मैं आपके साथ 3 या 4 बातें शेयर करूंगा। वैसे जब ये स्क्रीन देखी तो लगा यार यहाँ तो रेलवे वाला प्रेजेंटेशन करना चाहिए था मज़ा आता। लेकिन चूँकि आज कैबिनेट, पार्लियामेंट, वो सब चीज़ें एक साथ ही चल रही है, तो थोड़ा सा टाइम का ऐसा ही है। As we stand today, the world is going through a major transformation. Whether it is geopolitical transformation, whether it is technological transformation, multiple factors are working, operating at the same point of time. आज हम देखें अगर वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड को, रिच कंट्रीज़ को, कोविड और कोविड से पहले जो ग्रेट फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस आया था, GFR, जिसको हम GFR भी कहते हैं, ग्रेट फाइनेंशियल रिसेशन भी कहते हैं, ऑफ 2008, उस टाइम में वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड ने अपनी फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन को सुधारने के लिए बहुत बड़े डेट्स अपने बैलेंस शीट्स पे लिए। अगर हम फेड को देखें, यूरोप के सेंट्रल बैंक को देखें, जापान के बैंक को देखें, कोविड के टाइम में ही एंटायर वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड, एंटायर रिच कंट्रीज, दे टुक डेट ऑफ as big a number as $9 trillion US. That kind of debt on the balance sheet of any region, any country, any central bank is something which is unprecedented in the history of human beings. अगर हम टेक्नोलॉजिकल साइड में देखें, AI has today become a mainstream thing. It's practically impacting every aspect of our human life. Whether it is work life, whether it is entertainment, whether it is media, every part of our life is getting affected, impacted positively or negatively by AI. अगर हम geopolitical shifts की बात करें, तो as the economic gravity, center of gravity shifts towards Asia, that also generates lots of friction among the countries which have been the leaders, economic leaders, financial leaders for almost a century or more than a century. So इन सब फैक्टर्स को अगर एक साथ देखें तो दुनिया एक तरीके से उथल पुथल में, 2 वॉर हम देख ही रहे हैं, साथ ही साथ चल रहे हैं, सप्लाई चेन डिसरप्शन हमने देखा, कोविड का पैंडमिक के कारण डिसरप्शंस देखे। इन सब चीज़ों के बीच में अगर आज एक कंट्री है जिस पे दुनिया को होप है, वो है भारत, वो है इंडिया। और ये एक कोइंसिडेंस नहीं है कि आज हम एक अच्छी सस्टेन्ड 6 to 8% ग्रोथ रेट पे चल रहे हैं। इसके पीछे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की एक सोची समझी थॉट प्रोसेस है, एक क्लियरली लेड आउट प्लान है, जिसके कारण आज हम बहुत ही कंसिस्टेंट ग्रोथ, 6 to 8% ग्रोथ और मॉडरेट इन्फ्लेशन के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। अगर हम इस ग्रोथ को एनालाइज करें तो अगर हम देखेंगे पूरी दुनिया जहाँ पे उथल पुथल में है, कई तरह के टेंशन्स हैं, जियोपॉलिटिकल शिफ्ट्स हैं, ऐसे में भारत के ऊपर होप है। और बहुत लोग, जैसे IMF कहता है इंडिया इज़ द ओनली ब्राइट स्पॉट, इस तरह की जो बातें, इस तरह के जो स्टेटमेंट्स हम देखते हैं, उसके पीछे 4 बड़े फैक्टर्स हैं। मोदी जी की इकोनॉमिक थिंकिंग और सोशल थिंकिंग, पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रैटेजी 4 पिलर्स पे है। फर्स्ट पिलर उन्होंने रखा मैसिव इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, पब्लिक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन सोशल, फिजिकल एंड डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। सेकंड पिलर उन्होंने रखा बिग फोकस ऑन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड इनोवेशन। थर्ड पिलर उन्होंने रखा भारत की डाइवर्सिटी और स्पेशली इनकम डाइवर्सिटी को देखते हुए बहुत बड़ा फोकस रखा इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ पे। और फोर्थ पिलर है सिंप्लीफिकेशन का। इन 4 पिलर्स पे ये ग्रोथ की स्टोरी अभी बरकरार है, कायम है और बहुत कंसिस्टेंटली ग्रो करेगा। पहला जो पिलर है सोशल, फिजिकल और डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे इन्वेस्टमेंट, इसमें आपने देखा होगा इन द लास्ट मेनी इयर्स फ्रॉम रफली 3.5 लाख करोड़ इन्वेस्टमेंट जो होता था भारत सरकार का बजट में 10 साल पहले, फ्रॉम दैट नंबर कैपेक्स को इंक्रीज़ किया गया 4.5, फिर 5 लाख, फिर 5.5 लाख करोड़ और उसके बाद में बढ़ा के 7.5 लाख करोड़ किया गया, फिर 10 लाख करोड़ किया गया और अभी जो करंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर चल रहा है उसमें 11 लाख करोड़ रुपीस का इन्वेस्टमेंट हो रहा है। दैट्स ह्यूज, दैट्स ह्यूमंगस, दैट्स अनहर्ड ऑफ इन द इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया। सिन्हा साहब हैं यहाँ पर, वन ऑफ द फाइनेस्ट ऑफिसर्स वी हैव सीन इन आवर कंट्री। ही हैज सीन द फाइनेंशियल वर्ल्ड, आपने मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस को इनसाइड आउट देखा है। तो हैविंग कैपेक्स प्रोग्राम ऑफ 11 लाख करोड़ वाज समथिंग विच नोबडी कुड इवन इमेजिन, पर आज वो संभव है और आज वो हो भी पा रहा है। दैट इज लीडिंग टू productivity improvement and employment growth in practically every sector. पिछले 10 साल में हाईवेज का कंस्ट्रक्शन हो, एयरपोर्ट्स डबल नंबर हो गए, रेलवे लाइंस बनी 31,000 किलोमीटर्स, जो कि पूरे जर्मनी के नेटवर्क से ज़्यादा है। अगर अकेले लास्ट ईयर का देखें 5,300 किलोमीटर्स नई रेलवे ट्रैक बने, दैट इज़ मोर देन द एंटायर नेटवर्क ऑफ स्विट्ज़रलैंड। यानी स्विट्ज़रलैंड पूरा एक साल में, स्विट्ज़रलैंड जितना रेलवे नेटवर्क भारत में एक साल में जुड़ा। एयरपोर्ट के नंबर्स डबल हो गए। सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर देखो, 10 साल में 390 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ नहीं बनाई, यानी प्रैक्टिकली 1 यूनिवर्सिटी अ वीक। एम्स डबल किए, IITs डबल किए। हर एक फैक्टर में अगर हम डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करें तो कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि एक छोटे से छोटा रेडी पटरी वाला भी अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन से ई पेमेंट करता है। अभी कुछ टाइम पहले एक इंटरनेशनल फोरम में बैठने का, बात करने का मौका मिला था, तो एक सज्जन ने पीछे से हाथ उठाया और जब मैं डिजिटल पेमेंट्स की बात कर रहा था तो उन्होंने हाथ उठाया और उन्होंने कहा कि आप लोग तो इतना आगे बढ़ गए हो, लेकिन हमारे जैसे पीछे रहने वाले लोगों का क्या करोगे। तो मैंने उनको पूछा कि आप कौन से देश से हो। मैं नाम नहीं लूँगा, नाम लेने से कंट्रोवर्सी होगी, बट वन ऑफ द रिचेस्ट कंट्रीज़ में से थे वो। ये भावना आ गई है कि हिंदुस्तान आज टेक्नोलॉजी में लीडर है कई एक से एक फील्ड में, अनलाइक द पास्ट वेयर इंडिया यूज्ड टू बी ऑलवेज अ फॉलोअर। ये एक बहुत बड़ा माइंडसेट का चेंज है। ये पॉसिबल हो पाया बिकॉज देयर वाज अ सस्टेन्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट इन डिजिटल, फिजिकल एंड सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। सेकेंड जो पिलर है, दैट पिलर इज फोकस ऑन इनोवेशन एंड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। 10 साल पहले अगर बात करते स्टार्टअप्स, 300-400 स्टार्टअप्स, आज 1,20,000 से ज़्यादा स्टार्टअप्स। और पूरे यूरोप में जितने यूनिकॉर्न हैं, बड़े बड़े रिच कंट्रीज़ में जितने यूनिकॉर्न हैं, उनको अगर एक तरफ रखो तो भारत में 100 से ज़्यादा यूनिकॉर्न्स हैं। ये कोई सोच नहीं सकता था 10 साल पहले कि हिंदुस्तान इतना बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम बनेगा, वर्ल्ड का टॉप 3 स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम्स में बना। मोबाइल फ़ोन की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, डिफेंस की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, एक से बढ़कर एक, किसी भी सेक्टर में अगर आप जाओ, इंजीनियरिंग, गुड्स की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, सब में जो मेक इन इंडिया का इम्पैक्ट दिखा, दैट्स फिनोमिनल। तो सेकेंड पिलर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड इनोवेशन। थर्ड पिलर इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस टू नो, बिकॉज हमारी सोसाइटी में इकोनॉमिक इनइक्वालिटी जो 50-60 साल की पॉलिसीज़ के कारण रही, दैट हैड टू बी एड्रेस्ड इन अ वेरी फर्म वे। इसीलिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अपनी हर इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी में इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ को एक इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द पॉलिसी बनाया। आई वेलकम डॉक्टर जयशंकर जी। So Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji made sure that every economic policy, every public policy has inclusivity as an integral part of it. और इस inclusive growth का बहुत देश में benefit मिला। People at the bottom of the pyramid, they are the ones who have been benefited the most. अगर हम देखें 54 करोड़ बैंक अकाउंट खुले, 54 करोड़ बैंक अकाउंट खुले और उसमें से half of them are women बैंक अकाउंट होल्डर्स। अगर आप इस नंबर का इम्पोर्टेंस समझें, एंटायर यूरोप का पॉपुलेशन 44 करोड़ है, 45 करोड़ है। यानी पूरे यूरोप जैसे कॉन्टिनेंट को बैंकिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में लाना, बैंकिंग सिस्टम में लाना, That was unimaginable task, but that was made possible. हम अगर देखें 4 करोड़ लोगों के नए पक्के घर बने. 4 करोड़ लोगों के नए घर बनना मतलब उस व्यक्ति की जिंदगी में कितना बड़ा चेंज आता है. इमेजिन 11 करोड़ लोगों के कुकिंग हैबिट्स चेंज हुए, स्टोव से शिफ्ट हुए गैस पे. इमेजिन 11 करोड़ माने पूरी यूरोप, पूरी जापान की पॉपुलेशन है 11 करोड़, जर्मनी की पॉपुलेशन है 8 करोड़. एक एक देश की पूरी पॉपुलेशन से ज़्यादा इसमें जो मोदी जी के इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ के प्रोग्राम्स हैं उसमें उस पॉपुलेशन को बेनिफिट हुआ. सो इन्वेस्टमेंट इन public investment in physical, social and digital infrastructure, the first pillar, focus on manufacturing and innovation as the second pillar, and focus on inclusive growth as the third pillar, and the fourth pillar is simplification. Massive simplification किया. स्टैट्यूट बुक पे जो भी पुराने कानून जिनका कोई आज रेलेवेंस नहीं है, जो अंग्रेजों के ज़माने के, उन सब को या तो हटाओ या रिप्लेस करो और नया मॉडर्न लॉ बनाओ. टेलीग्राफ, भारत का टेलीकॉम सेक्टर इतना हाईटेक सेक्टर 1885 के कानून से चलता था. टेलीग्राफ एक्ट, मतलब टेलीग्राफ को तो शायद म्यूज़ियम में जाके देखना पड़ेगा, दिखेगा ही नहीं. तो ऐसे ऐसे कानून थे. 1500 कानून को स्टैट्यूट बुक से हटा दिया गया. 1500 लॉज हैव बीन रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द स्टैट्यूट बुक. पुराने पुराने कानून, मैरीटाइम के, एक ऐसे ऐसे कानून जो कि जिसकी कोई रेलेवेंस नहीं, उनको फिनिश किया, नए कानून बनाए और अभी भी बनते जा रहे हैं. लगातार ये प्रोसेस है. सिंप्लीफिकेशन में कंप्लायंस रिडक्शन के लिए ऐसे ऐसे सिस्टम्स बनाए. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. टेलीकॉम टावर लगाने के लिए ऑन एन एवरेज टाइम लगता था 217 डेज. 200 दिन से ज़्यादा लगता था एक टेलीकॉम टावर की परमिशन लेने के लिए. मोदी जी ने सितंबर 21 में सिंप्लीफिकेशन का ऐसा रिफॉर्म लेके आए. आज एवरेज टाइम लगता है 7 डेज टेलीकॉम टावर को लेने वाले परमिशन में, और उसमें भी 89% ऐसे हैं कि आप एंटर बटन दबाते हो और सीधा आपके सामने परमिशन आ जाती है. 89% में 0 टाइम लगता है. एक के बाद याद करो, जो रेलवे के साथ जुड़े हुए हो, 10 साल पहले अगर कोई आपको रेलवे टर्मिनल बनाना हो और उसको रेलवे नेटवर्क के साथ जोड़ना हो, कम से कम 6 साल लगेंगे. माननीय दिनेश त्रिवेदी जी हैं यहाँ पर, आपने भी रेलवे की जिम्मेदारी संभाली है, तो आप जानते हैं कितना डिफ़िकल्ट सी ब्यूरोक्रेसी थी. और मोदी जी ने ऐसे ऐसे रिफॉर्म्स किए. अभी हाल ही में एक टर्मिनल शायद 11 महीने पहले परमिशन के लिए अप्लाई किया था और अभी मेरे पास आए कि इसका इनॉग्रेशन के लिए चलना है. मतलब 11 महीने में परमिशन मिलके कंस्ट्रक्शन कंप्लीट करना और इनॉग्रेशन के लिए. ये पेस है आज काम करने की, ये स्केल है और ये स्कोप है जिस स्कोप में मोदी जी का काम चल रहा है. और बहुत ही फोकस्ड वे में सोसाइटी के हर सेक्शन के लिए, समाज के हर वर्ग के लिए और हर इनकम ग्रुप के लिए, और विशेषकर जो गरीब हैं, जो मिडिल क्लास है, उनके लिए मोदी जी का बहुत बड़ा फोकस है. और इसी के कारण वी आर seeing a very consistent growth. We can say with very high degree of confidence that India is going to continue to grow at 6 to 8% real growth, 10 to 14% nominal growth, and a very moderate inflation for the coming 5 years. And that's the reason, that is the confidence, that is the change which has happened in people's lives. कि जहाँ दुनिया भर में एंटी इनकम्बेंसी हो रही है, जहाँ पे लोग सरकारों को बदल रहे हैं, इतनी बड़ी डेमोक्रेसी में, इतनी वाइब्रेंट, इतनी वोकल डेमोक्रेसी में 60 साल के बाद में पहली बार किसी सरकार को तीसरी बार चुना गया और पहली बार कोई प्राइम मिनिस्टर तीसरी बार चुन के आए. क्यों? क्योंकि लोगों ने अपने जीवन में एक सच्चा बदलाव देखा, लोगों ने अपने जीवन में एक पक्का ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव चेंज देखा. वो चेंज, वो फीलिंग इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर अवार्ड में आएगी आज. और आई truly respect, I truly appreciate the work being done by NDTV. Thank you so much for recognizing the people who are working on the ground, people who are working behind the scenes, who are not coming onto the screens, but really contributing to this growth story. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vaishnav, very much for that very inspiring speech and your thoughts on the India growth story and the technologies that often lead that. Our first category for today is Business Leader of the Year, and the nominees are Noel Tata, Chairperson of Tata Trusts, Roshni Nadir Malhotra, Chairperson of HCL Technologies, Sunil Bharti Mittal, Founder and Chairperson of Bharti Enterprises, Sandeep Bakshi, CEO of ICICI Bank, and C.S. Sethi, Chairman of the State Bank of India.
तो इस कैटेगरी में विजेता का ऐलान करने के लिए और विजेता को सम्मानित करने के लिए मैं एक बार फिर निमंत्रण करूंगी श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी से। श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव, द ऑनरेबल यूनियन मिनिस्टर फॉर रेलवेज, इंफॉर्मेशन एंड ब्रॉडकास्टिंग एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड IT, और साथ ही श्री UK सिन्हा जो हमारे जूरी के सदस्य हैं और सेबी के पूर्व चेयरमैन, आमंत्रित करती हूँ स्टेज पर।
Business Leader of the Year, Roshni Nadir Malhotra. Give a big round of applause.
तो वो रोशनी यहाँ पे आ नहीं सकी आज, रोशनी नाडर मल्होत्रा, लेकिन हमारे साथ में अवार्ड रिसीव करने के लिए मिसेस नाडर हैं। और पहले सुन लेते हैं हम रोशनी का ये मैसेज, उन्होंने ये संदेश भेजा है हमें।
Thank you so much to NDTV and the esteemed jury for this incredible recognition. It's truly humbling. I received this on behalf of HCL Tech, our management, our leadership, our board, our incredible 220,000 entrepreneurs. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all the winners today evening. I apologize I can't be there in person, but thank you to my mother for receiving it on my behalf. Again, thank you to NDTV, the jury, and this is truly humbling.
Well, Roshni Nadir Malhotra's dynamic leadership has made HCL a truly remarkable organization in innovation, growth, and customer satisfaction. That makes her the NDTV Business Leader of the Year 2024. Mrs. Nadir, I had one quick question to ask you. The HCL growth story has been so remarkable. The solutions that HCL offers in India and around the world have been so much a part of the India growth story. But how have social initiatives been at the core of what HCL believes in and what Roshni herself participates in very actively?
HCL as an organization is built with a lot of social commitments in terms of education. And so Roshni is very involved with the Vidya Gyan program, which is for school education. And of course, her husband Shikhar is involved with the university program. I'm involved with the art program. So all of us have our philanthropic aspects that we follow quite assiduously. This all stems from Shiv's, it stems from Shiv. I think his mother asked him what he was going to do at a certain point, and she said, you must return to society. So
thank you so much.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Nadir.
I'd like to thank the jury for giving this award to Roshni. I'm sorry she's not here to receive it personally, but I hope I've done enough to receive it on her behalf.
We are delighted, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And I would like to request the Honorable Minister to please stay on the stage with us. Thank you, Mrs. Nadir.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much. So now we move over to our next category, Climate Impact of the Year, and the nominees are Environmentalist Jaydhar Gupta, or Vijay Dhasmana, Sustainability Champion and Waste Warrior, Mr. Subramaniam, Agricultural Scientist Swati Nayak, and Climate Scientist Roxy Matthew Cole.
Nice. Climate Impact of the Year, Swati Nayak.
Dr. Swati Nayak's contribution to agricultural sustainability by promoting adoption of climate-resilient crops across South Asia makes her the NDTV Climate Champion of the Year 2024. Her role in increasing inclusivity in Indian farms by developing programs for women to adopt climate-resilient seeds has been recognized globally. Dr. Nayak's initiatives have contributed to increasing household income, tailoring crop development to meet specific regional needs while keeping women in focus.
Many, many congratulations, Swati. और बस एक छोटा सा सवाल आपसे कि आपकी इस मुहिम से जो आपने लगातार अथक प्रयास किया है, किस तरह का बदलाव आपको नजर आया है?
Thank you. First of all, thank you, NDTV. This award is really special. This whole phrase, Indian of the Year, it itself is enough to add a sense of pride to what we all do. And I'm honored to be here, receive this award, and thank you, Honorable Minister. And I hail from a small town from Odisha. Even though I work across the globe as a global agriculture researcher and scientist, I have seen from my close lens that how the smallholder farmers suffer when they are subjected to climatic vagaries. Whether it is recurrent floods, drought, salinity, those are the smallest of smallholders who doesn't have enough resources to afford different mitigation and adaptation strategies which are cost intensive. Hence, being an agriculture scientist, I always wanted to be that last mile stakeholder in the entire research and development chain where I ensure that the innovations which is coming out of agriculture research is being available and accessible to those farmers, and also those are affordable for them. So in my endeavor, across the globe, in my own state, Odisha, and beyond, and in the overall India, I focused on those smallholder farmers and ensured that the resilient rice varieties, climate-resilient crops, technology for adaptation and mitigation is becoming available to those farmers, and they are having access to services and extension and knowledge. So taking it to the farmer has been my goal, and I have been working, and I see that when you engage them in the choice and decision making, they can make the change for themselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
and
much. Congratulations once again. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, our next category is Entrepreneur of the Year, and the nominees are Sriharsha Majeti, Rahul Jaimini, and Nandan Reddy, co-founders of Swiggy, Adit Palicha, co-founder and CEO of Zepto, and Hitesh Doshi, founder and CMD of Vari Energies. I'd now like to invite Dr. Dhruv Galgotia to join us on the stage, CEO of Galgotia's University. Thank you very much, Dhruv, for being with us.
Okay. Entrepreneur of the Year is, guess who? Hitesh Doshi, Vari Energies. Congratulations.
श्री दोषी ने वारी एनर्जीज को भारत का सबसे बड़ा सोलर मॉड्यूल निर्माता बनाने में सबसे बड़ी भूमिका, एक केंद्रीय रोल निभाया है। एक सफल आईपीओ, मजबूत ऑर्डर बुक और देश के रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी टारगेट के लिए आयात पर भारत निर्भर न रहे, उसकी निर्भरता को घटाने का लक्ष्य उन्होंने रखा है।
Doshi ji, congratulations. I had a quick question, in fact, to ask you. When we talk about climate change and the formidable goals that India and the world faces, how is your belief in your company driven by that ultimate goal, that we have a target, and that's a target which, if not realized, will impact billions around the world?
Thank you very much to NDTV and the jury. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I think when we started this business and what we are looking, we think that we are the biggest reserve of the oil in this country is the sun. If every roof is covered by the sun, solar panels, I think that will help, may not be all, but in a large portion in this climate change. So on this mission, we have been working for the last 15 years, and with these new policies and support by the government, we will do it much better. Thank you very much again. Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
and
you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. We would like to thank Shri Ashwini Vaishnav, the Honorable Union Minister for Railways, Information and Broadcasting and Electronics and IT for being with us. आपको बता दें कि अगली कैटेगरी क्या है। हमारी अगली कैटेगरी है इंडिया फर्स्ट, यानी एक ऐसा अवार्ड जो ऐसे व्यक्तियों की पहचान करके उन्हें सम्मानित करता है जो हमेशा देश सर्वप्रथम रखते हैं। व्यक्ति से पहले देश हित, बिना निज हित की परवाह किए निस्वार्थ भारत का हित आगे रखा, विश्व में भारत के आगे बढ़ने की राह बनाते हुए नागरिकों के लिए बेहतर भविष्य बनाने का प्रयास किया। I would like to invite on stage Sanjay Pogalia, Editor-in-Chief of the NDTV network. So, Sanjay Pogalia will be here with us shortly. Vishnu, this is a very special category of awards, and very soon we would like to have the winner up. But just want to thank you all and congratulate the winners once again. आपको बधाई और इस अगली कैटेगरी के लिए बस ज़रा सा इंतज़ार और हम अपनी अगली कैटेगरी में आगे बढ़ेंगे.
All right, we'll just wait for Sanjay for a moment, but once again, thank you all very much for being with us. It's going to be an exciting day for us, and we've got Sanjay back, rushing to the stage. Sanjay, you're up on stage, your cue is now. All right, the envelope coming up for Sanjay Pogalia, and if Sanjay ji, you can just read that out for us.
The NDTV India First Award goes to Dr. S. Jaishankar.
Well, 2024 has undoubtedly been the year of India, and under Dr. S. Jaishankar's guidance, India has skillfully navigated global alliances, balancing relationships with major powers like the US, the European Union, and Russia, while expanding ties in Asia, Middle East, and Africa. Dr. Jaishankar's approach to international relations, characterized by India's multi-alignment strategy, has allowed India to retain our autonomy and avoid being into polarizing geopolitical blocs, thus emerging as a neutral, stabilizing force in the face of many crises engulfing the world.
Okay.
Come,
please come,
please.
Sir. Oh, please, please do.
First of all, let me thank NDTV and all of you present here for this great honor. And I want to say I truly value this appreciation. But I also want to say that at the end of the day, we are all creatures of our times. And this is a good moment to be the External Affairs Minister of India. So a lot of the credit, I believe, should go to our times, to the country where it is today. And I want to share with you in a way why it is a good moment to be the EAM of the country. I think the first reason is very honestly the nature of the government of which I'm a member. As most of you know, I have worked all my life in governments, for many governments. So I've had an opportunity to assess them increasingly from close quarters. But today, when we have a Prime Minister with such a strong commitment to modernizing India, who's prepared to do the reforms we should, not just the reforms we must. And where really in the government there is that degree of energy and that sense of purpose, and I can tell you almost in a way every week when the cabinet meets, if you look at the decisions which are taken, the policy implications that they have, it's really an extraordinary period in our national life. And for me, it is a great privilege to participate in it because it is very much a team effort. It's a very integrated way of working. And I would say again, as someone, who's in a way a kind of relatively a specialist in their domain, for me, this period has been a period of great learning as well. The second reason why it's a good time is actually because the external and the domestic, this dynamic has become much closer today than it has ever been before. Yesterday, I was attending a book release event, and one of the speakers said something which caught my attention. They said that when we started our economic reforms in 1992, 91, 92, we were a $250 billion economy with a trade of $40 billion. Today, we are a $4 trillion economy with a trade of $800 billion. So think about it. I'm throwing these numbers at you because it's a way of measuring how much more today we are dealing with the world, how much more the world matters to us, how much more we matter to the world. And this process, in many ways, I gave you a GDP and a trade number, but if you look at investments of Indians abroad, investments of foreigners in India, if you look at mobility, how many more of us travel abroad, how much more frequently we travel abroad, how many people work abroad, the fact that we have more than 1 million students abroad, the fact that we have 9 million people living and working in the Gulf. Probably if you take, PIOs and NRIs, I think we are 33, 34 million people outside the country. So how much more today we are integrated with the world? But it's not just the physical integration. There's also today a connectedness. All of us, from the time we get up to the time we sleep, we pick up the phone, we look at the phone to see what's happening in the world. And the resulting awareness, the resulting sense of empathy or affinity or concern for something which is happening elsewhere, and understanding something happening somewhere can impact our lives. I think all of this today has actually profoundly changed the country, it has changed the society. And what it has done, in many ways, it has actually made foreign policy much more relevant to Indian society. So I could say in some ways, not as a personal testimonial, but as a description of the times today, that I have the privilege of being a foreign minister who can travel around India and find in the remotest parts of India an interest in foreign policy, which probably was not there even 5-10 years ago. A third reason is India itself. I think we are far more ambitious. We are far more aspirational. I came in at the tail end of my colleague Ashwini ji's remarks. And, some of what I heard him say, that itself should tell us really how much, what are the times that we live in. This is no longer an era where people are satisfied with the basics. This is not their expectation. This is not the limit of their expectation of the government anymore. That what in a way the digital public infrastructure has done, the implications it has had, not just for governance, for our ability to deliver benefits. That what he spoke about, the food and nutrition support, the health facilities we give, the houses we give, And these are the citizens' entitlements, except they were the citizens' dreams at one point of time. Today, they are the citizens' demands. In many ways, the citizens' achievements which they have in their hand. So we are living in times where the quality of life is different, quality of jobs are different, quality of expectations are different. And if we look at our own conversations, you look at the national conversation, we are today talking increasingly seriously about Make in India, about being Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are aspiring to a Viksit Bharat. It's not an aspiration we would have had 5-10 years ago. Or, in fact, if one looks even at the achievements which give these aspirations credibility, this is today a kind of a can-do generation, a generation that has done the Chandrayaan, a generation which, was probably the most efficient producer and inventor of vaccines during COVID, which has produced its telecom technology. We talk of an India stack today, we talk of our own 5G technology. Or, as my colleague probably mentioned before I came in, a generation which today produces its own trains, Vande Bharat, of which we can be justifiably proud. Now, that's what's happening inside the country. But if you look outside the country, my particular responsibility, again, if you look in terms of our ambition and aspiration, we are charting our own way. We have today, in a way, we are a co-inventor of the Quad. We are pushing a new connectivity initiative called IMEC through the Middle East. We were the progenitors of the International Solar Alliance, of a disaster resilient. So, in a way, this is today a country of ideas. It is a country which is shaping global conversations. So that too is a reason why it's particularly fortunate to represent the country and to hold this responsibility. But I do want to say a few words also about our capability and our confidence. I spoke about the COVID. I can tell you as a person who travels around the world, probably, I think I can assert more than anybody else in this room, unless there's somebody from an air crew who happens to be here. But, much of the world still has not recovered from the COVID. Not just, it doesn't have to be countries in Africa and Latin America. I can tell you even parts of Europe have not recovered from the COVID. So if you look today at the bounce back, how we handled it, how we have recovered from it, or indeed of challenges like the one we had for 4.5 years, and to some extent we still do on our border with China, that the firmness, the determination, the fortitude with which we face that challenge. Or look at the way we are responding today to terrorism, that a country which let an incident, which let an attack as big as 26/11 actually pass unanswered, is today, sending a very clear message through strikes in Uri and Balakot. So, whether it is a crisis or it may not be our crisis, it may be something for the world. One of our neighbors went through what was probably the deepest financial crisis in decades, which was Sri Lanka. And at the end of the day, more than the global institutions which were supposed to help that country, it was actually a neighbor like us who stepped forward of a scale of assistance which we ourselves would not have contemplated years ago. Or take the responsibility we shouldered just recently, the G20 responsibility. We actually took on that responsibility when the world was totally polarized, when people actually, frankly, sympathized with us, saying, I feel sorry for you, you're taking up the G20 at this juncture. Nobody expected us to pull it off, leave alone actually have achievements like bringing the African Union inside. So I do want to say today, yes, we are more aspirational, we are more ambitious, we are more capable, we are more, in a sense, confident. But most of all, we are an India that is more Bharat. That we can see today that in our country, in our 8th decade after independence, actually democracy has delivered. And when I say democracy has delivered, it just doesn't mean our elections are better than everybody else's. They are. But I mean, when you look at our politics, you look at our civil services, you look at our sports teams, you look at our journalists, we are today far more representative as a selection of people than we have ever been before. And that, to my mind, that the fact that in every walk of life, every part of India today has equality of opportunity. That success is not something which is elitist, which is not something which is metropolitan. So, to my mind, when we speak today of our traditions, of our heritage, of our culture, of our history, when we advocate why yoga is a universal wellness practice, or what is the importance of Ayurveda, or as I saw from one of the winners earlier, that importance of something like millets, which has been part of our food traditions, but which was forgotten really when we started consuming grains, which were part of a certain period of our history. So we are today a country under transformation, but a country who are, in a way, both staying true to our tradition and yet using technology to look ahead in our future. So I held forth at some length. I hope you would excuse me for that. But I do want to share with you today what a privilege it is today to be a face of this country abroad. And I can tell you that the strength of what I articulate abroad, the confidence with which I speak abroad, all of that really emanates from the fact that I am empowered by what I see in this country. Once again, NDTV, thank you very much.
Dr. Jayashankar, that was very inspirational, talking about where India stands in the world. It is an evolving foreign policy, and there's an evolving recognition of where India is, how we are recognized, our policies, our ability, and truly what in almost 30 years of doing journalism, the way in which I've seen our foreign policy being recognized now in the last several years is very, very different to what it was in the past. Nakma?
Thank you, Dr. Jayashankar. Like you rightly said, आप देश के कोने-कोने में जाएं, छोटे-छोटे गांव और शहर में जाएं, फॉरेन पॉलिसी में अब जितना इंटरेस्ट है, फॉरेन पॉलिसी और डोमेस्टिक पॉलिसी बहुत घुल मिल गई है और सभी लोगों को दिलचस्पी है कि विदेश में क्या हो रहा है और भारत उसमें कहाँ है। दुनिया में जो हो रहा है उसमें भारत की क्या जगह है और आपने हमेशा विश्व पटल पे हर जगह पे भारत को सबसे पहले सर्वप्रथम रखा और आपने जैसा कहा कि ये ताकत आपको आती है इस बदलते हुए हिंदुस्तान से कि आपने वो आवाज़ ज़ोर शोर से सब जगह पे रखी है पूरे आत्मविश्वास के साथ। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका एक बार फिर से।
Well, it's time to go across now to our colleague Osama Shab. He's in the audience for a couple of quick audience comments, and there's a lot more which is going to be coming up in the next little while. A lot of exciting people up here for the NDTV 2024 Indian of the Year Awards. Osama?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Indian of the Year 2024. First of all, a huge round of applause for everyone who's sitting here. Let's get some energy in this room. I want you all to chant Indian of the Year, but you all obviously not going to say Indian of the Year. What we are going to say is IOY. With me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. No. We need some more energy in this room. Louder, please. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NDTV's Indian of the Year 2024. We have a bunch of wonderful people who are joining us and who will be joining us in just a short while from now. But what I thought was to go and try and understand the process of how these winners are basically selected. So we have the wonderful jury here with me. I have the lovely, the wonderful, the most amazing Asha Parekh ji. I also have UK Sinha sir, and I also have Justice Sikri. Ma'am, I'd like to start with you. what is that process? What is it that goes behind that process before you select that winner? Because Indian of the Year, we know it's one of the most important, prestigious awards in India. What is the process of selecting that Indian of the Year?
Well, when we were given the list of the nominees, at least I went through each and every candidate who had to be, selected. So I went through it. I went through once, twice, thrice. I put my head into it and tried to do my best and vote for the best.
Lovely. Sir?
Thank you. Actually, as you have said that I have been a judge for more than 20 years. As a judge, we have been judging every day so many things. But I found judging as a jury member on this occasion is altogether different from judging in the court. In the court, you have to...
Which one is more difficult?
This is more difficult.
Okay.
That is why I'm coming to. In the court, you have two sides. You have just to decide who is right, who is wrong. In our wisdom, on the basis of evidence produced before us, we decide that. We may be wrong in deciding, but the process is not that difficult. Here, the list of contestants of which we were given in each category, all are fabulous. It's not that one is right, one is wrong. We have to decide who is better or who is the best in that category. So that is why I said that this is much more difficult process. But the way the process was conceived with 5-6 members of the jury, and as it has already been said by Asha Parekh ji, that we were given the resume of everybody, what are the achievements, etc. And we went through that very carefully. Every member had equal say in the sense that this voting was done. That too, it was since online, so we didn't know, there was no such discussion that I'm influenced by what Asha ji is saying or she's influenced by what I am saying. So independent assessment, and after going through that, as far as I'm concerned, what my take was that yes, all of them have done well, but in this year, who is the person in that particular category who has impacted the growth of India the most? So on that basis.
Wonderful, sir. That's absolutely wonderful. I also want to understand from you, sir. There are a lot of young people who aspire to do great things, who aspire to be Indian of the Year one day. What is that one message that you want to give to those young people looking at the show, looking at you guys, looking at all the wonderful people who are present here?
Thank you. The NDTV team did a fantastic job in selecting the shortlist and presenting it to us. And the jury was guided by the single factor that we should be selecting somebody who can inspire millions and millions of Indians across the length and breadth of the city, of the country, living in a smaller town and villages. So tomorrow or today when the awards are announced, it should inspire millions of people to come here and receive the NDTV award next year or in subsequent years. That was the whole thing, that it should be inspiring.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, jury, for doing such a wonderful job. I'll now like to hand back to my colleagues, Sikta and Gargi.
Thanks so much for that, Osama, bringing some energy in the room. And thank you so much, all the jury members, for speaking about the entire process. Justice Singhvi, Mr. Sinha, Asha Parekh ji, wonderful to hear from you. A round of applause, really, for our jury.
अब हमारी अगली कैटेगरी है इंडियन ऑफ द ईयर इन एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन। इस अवार्ड को देने के लिए हम अनुरोध करेंगे सेबी के पूर्व चेयरमैन यूके सिन्हा जी को कि वो मंच पर आए और अगले विजेता के नाम का ऐलान करें।
Energy Transition Indian of the Year, Vijay Murugesh Nirani.
Trueall Bioenergy is at the forefront of the global biofuel revolution. Under the leadership of Vijay Murugesh Nirani, founder and managing director, the company has established dedicated ethanol production facilities across India to cater to the nation's rising ethanol demand. Guided by sustainability as its core principle, Trueall has forged strategic partnerships that generate additional income for over 2 lakh farmers while ensuring zero waste in its operations. Do stay on with us, and we have a few questions we'd like to ask you. India's energy transition is such a crucial, thing right now for the country to go through by 2070. So if you could tell us what Trueall's contribution is going to be to that transition.
Thank you so much, NDTV, for this stupendous honor. I must say I should dedicate this award to the policymakers and the farmers. As a country, India largely depends on imports of its fuel. Over 70 to 80% of our fuel that we consume is imported, right? It's quite, not something to be very proud of. But I must say the policies that the recent government has launched, we achieved our 10-year target in less than 5 years. That's the ethanol blending program. This one policy alone helped the country save close to 1 lakh crores per annum in foreign exchange. It's tremendous the way the potentials we as a country hold, be it compressed biogas, be it sustainable aviation fuel, all of these new energy, be it green hydrogen, all of these new energies can be created using agricultural waste, using biomass, and this can catapult our country to a next level. So I must say big kudos to the policymakers. This one especially is for them, for the way they're driving our economy and helping
ये तो बस शुरुआत है. ये बताइए कि भारत ग्लोबल और सस्टेनेबल एनर्जी को अचीव करने में कितनी दूर खड़ा है?
मेरे हिसाब से तो जैसे मैंने कहा मैडम, we have achieved our 10-year goal in less than 5 years. अभी 20% ethanol blending हमारा target था. We've achieved that in this year. We're supposed to do it the next year. We've already achieved it. We achieved it in less than 4 years. And there is a policy for sustainable aviation fuel. We start flying our aeroplanes using the fuel produced by our farmers. Our target of 2070 to be a net zero or a net zero emitting country, we are pretty sure the way we are going, if the policy continue, we have all the potential that is that is required for us to achieve it probably by 2045 or so. I would bet on maybe earlier than 2045, but we're definitely getting there.
Well, definitely, we hope we do achieve it before, the target date. And this is such a mantra in this day and age. That's why we have this category of energy transition as well, to really put the spotlight on this entire sector. What's also interesting is how you benefit farmers. If you, for the viewers, for the audience here, could tell us a bit about how you ensure that farmers also benefit from what you're doing.
So I'll tell you, there's a very cyclical nature to this business. What we do is the agricultural produce that we get, which generally goes to waste, right? Be it the molasses that comes out of sugarcane, or be it agricultural biomass that we generate. What we are doing is, otherwise, which burns as per earlier, which is causing the AQI of Delhi. All of us are choking here. I lost my throat, in the last 2 years, right? So all of this can be avoided by better utilizing the energy there. So we have a lot of carbohydrates in them. We extract them, make it methane, make it green hydrogen, make all of these. Now, the circularity in this, the farmer produces these agri-inputs, that's the biomass. We spend whatever the energy that we consume as consumers in a daily energy requirement. That fund is going back to the farmer. Now, it is empowering the ruralmost bracket in the economy. So when a farmer or when the weakest of the person in the society is empowered, by default, there is a lot more buying capacity. If that buying power increases, as a country, we grow. The targets that our Honorable Prime Minister has of $5 trillion of economy, we're going to achieve it much sooner. Now, in terms of carbon neutrality in the same, we're not only achieving good value in terms of revenue, we're also achieving tremendous potential in carbon emissions. So this is one solution, biomass to energy, and the transition is happening rapidly especially the last 5 years. The global levels, be it the Paris Accord that's being implemented from 2024 onwards, the world is changing very dynamically. Again, Mr. Doshi has a fantastic Wari Energies. I think we all look up to him, the way he's driven his company. All of us, we are in a, like Dr. Jaishankar and Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said, we as industrial body are definitely in a Disneyland right now for us to continue our business.
जी, जैसा आपने कहा कि हम टारगेट से बहुत आगे चल रहे हैं, फिर भी रफ्तार में ज़रूरी है कि हमारी प्राथमिकता हो, हमारी प्रायोरिटी हो, तो वो एक क्या ज़रूरी चीज़ है जिस पर सभी का ध्यान जाना चाहिए इस दिशा में?
मेरे हिसाब से भी most important thing is to continue the policies that we make. Secondary is to promote the young tech, the new tech that is coming, because जब हमने solar या wind शुरू करे थे, back in the day the prices were as high as 15 to 18 rupees a unit. Today we stand at almost 2 rupees to 3 rupees a unit. It's a drastic drop in less than 10 years or 12 years. It's the same story that we carry with biomass or biofuels. Today we are looking at some premium which eventually will come down. When we began our ethanol blending story, the price of ethanol was less than 46. Today it's at 71, as against the petrol or diesel price that's at 190 rupees a unit. So we have a tremendous potential for us to offset these traditional high carbon based fuels. Like I said earlier, empowering the ruralmost of person. Otherwise what happened was this capital, whatever we would have imported, went to an OPEC country. Now it's going to a farmer. There's so much of nobility in this entire system. I think we're already getting there.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, especially the way it benefits farmers. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Nirani, for being here with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Sinha, for being here. And of course, the juries must have had a tough time deciding on that award. Thank you. Well, now it's over to Osama. Osama, over to you now.
Thank you, Gargi. Thank you, Sikta. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to NDTV Indian of the Year. I thought हमारे पास यहाँ हमारे Paralympians आए हुए हैं, so हमने सोचा कि थोड़ा उनसे जो है वो conversation करते हैं, उनसे बात करते हैं. और ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our wonderful Paralympians here who have made the nation proud time and again. And I would like to start with you, brother. Yogesh, first of all, Indian of the Year, this event, what are your thoughts? किस तरह का आपका जो है वो इसके बारे में है?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है इवेंट में आके, और पैरालंपिक्स ग्रो कर रहा है इंडिया में, जो काफ़ी सालों से नहीं हो पा रहा था, और धीरे धीरे करके यहाँ पर आके कुछ मोटिवेशन ही मिलती है, और ऐसे अवार्ड फंक्शन हमें आगे के लिए और ज़्यादा मोटिवेट करते हैं और अपना नेक्स्ट एम करने के लिए, अचीव करने के लिए, बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत के लिए मोटिवेट करते हैं. तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
योगेश, आप एनडीटीवी के साथ पहले से भी कई समय से जुड़े हुए हैं. जस्ट गिव अस अ सेंस ऑफ किस तरह का ये एसोसिएशन रहा है आपके लिए पर्सनली, और सारे जो एथलीट्स हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, एनडीटीवी के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, किस तरह का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है अभी तक?
मेरा हमेशा से अच्छा एसोसिएशन रहा है एनडीटीवी के साथ, और मैं लास्ट 3 ईयर से एनडीटीवी के साथ हूँ. तो अलग अलग इवेंट्स होते हैं तो जाता हूँ, तो हर इवेंट्स का एक अलग मतलब होता है. तो एक युवा इवेंट था, तो उसमें यूथ को देख के बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा लगा. एक इधर आए तो इधर से सीख मिली है. तो ऐसे मतलब काफ़ी सारे अच्छे इवेंट्स होते हैं, और सबसे अच्छी बात एनडीटीवी की मुझे ये लगती है कि वो पैरालंपियंस को ग्रोथ दे रहे हैं. और क्योंकि एबल बॉडी एथलीट्स को जितना ग्रोथ मिल रहा है, उसी हिसाब से मैंने इस साल देखा कि पैरा एथलीट्स को भी बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रोथ मिल रहा है, और हमारे मेडल भी बहुत ज़्यादा इंक्रीज़ होते जा रहे हैं. 19 से 29 आ गए हैं, तो इस चीज़ की भी बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी है.
All right. We'll come back to you and have this conversation again. Back to you, Gargi and Sikta.
Thanks so much for that, Osama, and wonderful to hear from you. Before we get to the next category, we now call on stage Sachin Jain, Regional CEO, India World Gold Council. Thank you so much, Mr. Jain. Please come on stage and please share a few words about Indian of the Year.
Honor for us as World Gold Council to be part of this platform. I thank the NDTV organizers to give us the opportunity to be a part of this amazing, amazing day. You know, we at World Gold Council are experts of gold. We understand where gold comes from. We understand how gold transforms as a gift of Mother Nature deep inside Mother Earth, the strength it has, how it is resilient, how it gets into financial markets, how it's a store of value, how gold turns into something precious for a family and stays on. And while I was sitting there and I was reflecting and hearing all the amazing things over here, I think there's a true commonality that the Indian of the Year and both the nominees and the people who win are the true gold of India. And we all have to feel proud about it. The fact that we and the World Gold Council team here, we always just quietly listening to the amazing things that were happening. So you mentioned that your brief was inspiration. I can tell you, everybody in this room is inspired, and the millions outside this room will truly be inspired by what all of you have achieved. And this is truly the heart and soul of our nation. There's already, I was just counting, 11 times it's been mentioned, the Viksit Bharat, how a journey collectively will happen. And I think all you winners are the true heart and soul of this journey, who is inspiring everyone in this room. Right when we talk to us, our families, our respective minister talked about when you go outside the country, how proud we are. We are proud because all the work that you guys do. So from all of us at World Gold Council, heartiest congratulations, and we are very proud to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those words about this. Thank you so much. And talking about Indian of the Year, do stay with us for the next category. Our next category is Gold Visionary, the real hero of India. And the nominees are architects and social activists Michael and Vishnu Priya, who are dedicated to improving rural sanitation in India. Co-founders of Southern Health Improvement Samiti, that's SHIS, Muhammad Abdul Wahab and Sabitra Pal. Education, Dr. Pradeep Sethi, whose free school offers world-class education to rural children, and animal conservation activist and India's first woman Mahat, Parvati Barua.
And to give away the award, I would like to invite on stage Admiral Karambir Singh, former Chief of Naval Staff and jury member for NDTV Indian of the Year, and Justice Singhvi, please.
To come on stage.
The Gold Visionary, the real hero of India, Muhammad Abdul Wahab and Savitri Pal.
बहुत बहुत मुबारक। शायद ही कोई ऐसा काम है जो मोहम्मद अब्दुल वहाब और सावित्री पाल के द्वारा उनके सदर्न हेल्थ इम्प्रूवमेंट समिति फाउंडेशन के माध्यम से पिछले 40 वर्षों से अधिक समय से किया जा रहे कार्य से अधिक असाधारण हो। उनकी निरंतर मेहनत ने सुंदरबन के दूर दराज के क्षेत्रों में स्वास्थ्य सेवा की पहुंच को पूरी तरह बदल दिया है। जिन इलाकों और समुदाय में पहले चिकित्सा सहायता की कमी थी, अब वो बेहतर स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for them.
Good evening, right, Wahabji. We would like to ask you a few questions, of course, about your work. Another round of applause. And Wahabji, 40 साल इतना लंबे समय होता है. Just what kept you going for so long?
First, we would like to thank NDTV for covering us and to bring out our stories and histories to the different parts of the world through NDTV. We have heard from our friends in abroad. They were talking, they were helping us also. More than 4 decades before we started, when actually people were dying by tuberculosis. I was a law graduate, and she's from well-to-do family and highly educated. We both committed to render our services to save the dying people. At that time, there was no good medicine to treat tuberculosis. 2, 3 medicines, even All these were not available. Even there were lack of facilities for diagnosis. So we started collecting medicines from the doctors. And in our place, particularly in Sundarbans, where people do not have any way to go to the city for treatment. So people are living there, even today, very compromisingly with tiger, crocodile, and human being, along with mosquitoes, snakes, all this. So we committed ourselves to save the lives, how we can. So we were collecting resources from different sources. We were going to the people. Our idea is people will not come to us, but we shall have to reach to their doorsteps. Like that way, we have completed more than 100,000 TB patients cured. We have the lists. We committed to give every household latrines. That number more than 100,000. We have given to each TB patients. And nevertheless, now we are covering the whole Sundarban area. 2,500 square kilometer area. We have our 5 motorized boat. Each boat, it comprises with X-ray machines, other diagnostic facilities, a group of medical team, doctors, nurses, all are moving every day except Sunday. You are most welcome to visit them, to help them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because only we Indians are very rich, we believe. We have our own culture. We have our own philosophies. Whole world can learn from us, particularly love. And that we both have tried to share each other, to help each other. And we are happy today to say with the honor, and this message is going to my people in Bengal, in Sundarbans. You have honored them practically. We are so happy. We cannot express in language. Thank you very much.
आप दोनों का काम हम सबको बहुत इंस्पायर कर रहा है और करता रहेगा। सावित्री जी, देश के अंदरूनी इलाकों में, दूर दराज के इलाकों में अब भी मेडिकल और चिकित्सा सेवा का पहुंचना एक बड़ी चुनौती, एक बड़ा चैलेंज रहा है। इस वक्त आप क्या देख रही हैं? क्या धीरे धीरे रास्ता आसान हुआ? आप 40 साल से इस क्षेत्र में काम कर रही हैं।
बेंगली में?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
सुंदरबन एरिया, भास्ट एरिया, मानुष एवं बाघ, others animal are living there. This side people living, and that side tiger, crocodile, and everybody is living there. So people are very much eager to come our place, and so many things are doing there, but no hope and no opportunity is taking so much. And flood, this type of flood, and everything is there, but man cannot leave this area, but they are living there. This is the situation of that. Our place to the river place is 30-40 decimeter or any something is nearby, but people are well reading, writing, want to reading, writing, but who will take care of that?
तो आप दोनों ने वो साबित किया है कि अगर जज्बा है तो कुछ भी मुमकिन है, करके दिखाया जा सकता है, और आप लोग 40 साल से लगे हुए हैं। सैल्यूट आप दोनों को।
1982 and now still now
Wonderful.
We are doing. We are going and we are living.
And Admiral Karamveer Singh, this must have been a difficult, category for you, the jury members, to really go through. So a few words about that, because we really want to inspire young people to follow in this path, altruism, activism, being out there and working in NGOs and helping people.
Thank you so much. First of all, it was such an honor and privilege to be part of this star-studded jury that I got to be a part of. And just reading through the citations of the various people who are nominees was an eye-opener for me. In the armed forces, the citizens of India give you so much of respect and so much of adoration. But when one goes through the kind of efforts, selfless efforts, persistent efforts, and the scale of their effort, I think it's mind-boggling. And, we are 1.4 billion people, or 140 crore people, so आप करोड़ों में एक है, not लाखों में एक. Congratulations.
जस्टिस सिंघवी, आपसे एक सवाल. अदालत में आप अब तक फैसला सुनाते रहे, अब जूरी मेंबर आप बने, तो ये फैसला कितना आसान था?
मैंने तो I've already said
जी
कि ये ज़्यादा मुश्किल है अदालत में, क्योंकि अदालत में हमने देखते हैं दो पक्ष आते हैं, दोनों अपनी अपनी बात करते हैं, वो कहता है वो गलत है, वो कहता है हमें एक चुनना है कौन गलत है कौन ठीक है. और यहाँ सब बहुत अच्छे हैं, जो आपने नाम हमें दिए एक से एक बढ़कर थे. तो ये तो नहीं है कि कौन गलत है कौन ठीक है, इसमें सबसे अच्छा कौन है ये चुनना बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है. बट एज आई सेड, कलेक्टिव डिसीजन ऑफ दी our jury, we were able to do that. And in so far as this particular category is concerned, I think, and I can share it, that it should be the opinion of other jury members also, that no doubt they are in service of people and selfless service. This is one thing. But in these conditions, I mean, this resilience, this kind of patience which is required, and it cannot be unless there is a full commitment to the humanity. And I think what they know, and which is, as I see, as a judge or a student of Indian Constitution, that dignity of human beings is the most important. When we talk of we the people, it is the dignity of the people. And that is what we have been doing. And they have at least ensured that the dignity of the people is not only maintained, that the due which is to them should be given, and their lives should be made better. So that is the one reason, and all kudos to them for doing this for more than 42 years.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Habji and Savitri Pal.
এই সুন্দর সন্ধ্যা আজকে এখানে আসতে পেরে খুব খুশি। আপনারা সবাই ভালো থাকুন। জানি না কতদিন আর কাজ করতে পারবো, অনেক দিন হয়ে গেছে। এবার আসি।
Thank you and congratulations again. Thank you.
Astrophysicist and director of Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Department of Atomic Energy for the world's highest gamma-ray telescope, the Major Atmospheric Cherenkov Experiment, or MACE, Agnikul Cosmos, the IIT Madras startup that launched India's privately built rocket Agniban, and DRDO scientist Dr. Sheena Rani, who was in charge of developing the most advanced Agni 5 missile. And to give the award away, I would like to invite on stage Asha Parekh ji to come and give this award. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Science Icon of the Year, Professor Annapurni Subramaniam.
प्रोफेसर अन्नपूर्णी सुब्रमण्यम का योगदान भारत की खगोल शास्त्र यानी एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल डिस्कवरीज को प्रगति देने, तकनीकी विकास को बढ़ावा देने और अंतरिक्ष अनुसंधान के प्रभाव को सशक्त बनाने में महत्वपूर्ण रहा है, जिसके कारण उन्हें एनडीटीवी साइंस आइकॉन ऑफ द ईयर 2024 चुना गया है। प्रोफेसर सुब्रमण्यम का एक प्रमुख योगदान UVIT ऑन एस्ट्रोसैट यानी कि अल्ट्रा वायलेट इमेजिंग टेलीस्कोप का विकास है, जो तारों के अध्ययन के लिए क्रांतिकारी अल्ट्रा वायलेट इमेजरी प्रदान करता है।
Congratulations, Professor. And I'd just like to say, I think it's a fangirl moment for Sikta and me to have two such iconic women on stage, trailblazers, both in their own different spheres, who made it so much easier for the women who came behind them. A round of applause, please. And Professor, I'd like to ask you first, I read an interview of yours in which you spoke about how very often you didn't find space for yourself, but you made that space. So if you can tell us, and women and girls who are watching, how it was to this achievement where you are right now, from a young girl looking up at the stars to a young woman looking up at the stars, and now being someone that other women in science can look up to.
First of all, thank you so much. Thank you, NDTV. Thank you, jury, for giving me this award. It's a big honor. And NDTV, my favorite channel, favorite anchors all over. So thank you so much. And yes, I grew up looking at the stars, and it inspired me. And when I got a chance to study stars, of course, my parents were very worried that I'll go and spend a lot of nights in the remote observatory, and they were like totally worried. And my mom even told me, why don't you study the sun? It's in the daytime and not in the nighttime. But the only thing I could do was take them there and show them and what I'm passionate about, how I can do it. So I'm only worried that the next generation cannot even see stars and sometimes not even the sun. So I think it's important for us to preserve the nature, preserve the curiosity we can show them around, and inspire them. And inspired to do what? Things like, I just wanted to remind you that talking about Gold Council, and they search for where is gold found, how you can actually extract gold. But astronomers look for how the universe makes gold or makes elements.
Wow.
Right? For that matter, who makes these elements, at what conditions you can make these elements. So astronomers chase these kind of weird questions, but they are more important. I mean, in the sense that, the formation itself in the universe. So that's what I wanted to share. Yeah, thank you.
Professor Subramaniam, तारों के आगे जहाँ और भी है, ये आपने हमको बताया है. लेकिन हमारा देश इस वक्त एक साइंस क्रांति, साइंस रेवोल्यूशन से गुजर रहा है. लेकिन हमारे बहुत सारे युवा छात्र हैं जो फिजिक्स और मैथ्स से बहुत डरते हैं. उनके लिए कोई मंत्र इस फियर को ओवरकम करने के लिए?
Nothing, just to face it and just do it. So whatever I have faced so far, I have only told myself, many things will come around you and like become like ghosts in front of you. Just face it and just do it. You will get across it. And maths and physics become very friendly to you once you start understanding them. And it's really a lot of fun, actually. And once you start doing challenging stuff, it becomes quite inspirational. And then you just want to do more stuff like that. So I think just do it.
And Professor Subramaniam, you almost became a musician. That was your other alternative career, playing the violin. But I would like to ask Asha Parekh ji, we saw the videos of the jury meeting. You were very excited to have two women in this as the nominees in the science category. Tell us a bit about that. And, we heard so much about how, excited you were.
Well, when I read the two nominees' names and what they had achieved, I was very keen that both of them should have been given the award. And I requested the editor to consider my wish and to see that the other lady also gets the award. But anyhow, congratulations to you, and hope Sheena makes it next year.
जी, प्रोफेसर सुब्रमण्यम, एक छोटा सा सवाल. सोलर सिस्टम के बारे में हम सब कुछ जानते हैं?
No, not at all. The other day when I was giving a talk in a school in a remote place in Tamil Nadu, the student came and asked me, why is Pluto not a planet, right? So we still don't understand. We're still rearranging our solar system, redefining things and recategorizing things. So there it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that. And a round of applause. Thank you so much, Professor Subramaniam. Do come. Asha Parekh ji, please stay on stage for the moment.
Can I just have the mic? Yeah.
We'll have the mic as well. माइक दे दीजिए।
बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका एक फिर से। बहुत शुक्रिया आशा जी कि आप यहाँ स्टेज पे हैं और हम सब लोग, मारिया, मैं और हम यहाँ स्टेज में तमाम लोग, मुझे यकीन है कि बहुत सारे फ़ैन आशा पारेख जी के यहाँ पे होंगे और सबका कोई ना कोई अपना फेवरेट गाना भी होगा। और मेरे हिसाब से अगर पर्सनली पूछे तो 60s को अगर कोई सिंबलाइज करता है उसकी एनर्जी को, तो वो आशा पारेख जी हैं। मेरे बहुत वेलकम मैम एंड थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग विद अस हियर ऑन स्टेज। मैं बोलूँ तो आपने जब अपनी डेब्यू की 1959 में दिल दे के देखो से, एक म्यूज़िकल फिल्म थी वो, और उस वक्त में जिस तरह के आपके तो तमाम गाने ही इतने ज़्यादा हिट रहे, मेरे भी अपनी फेवरेट गानों की लिस्ट है, पर शम्मी कपूर के एज अ को स्टार आपने अक्सर कहा है कि देयर वाज समथिंग डिफरेंट अबाउट हिम, द एनर्जी, द वे ही कोरियोग्राफ्ड हिज सॉन्ग्स एंड एवरीथिंग। सो आई जस्ट वांट टू आस्क यू, आपके क्या ख़ास था शम्मी कपूर के साथ काम करने में?
Just because he was my first hero, I learnt a lot from him. And basically all the Kapoors, I think they have a lot of sense of music. So I being a dancer and he having so much of music in his body, I would say, that it was very easy to do songs with him because he used to do everything on his own. We never had a dance director. But we used to discuss amongst ourselves what he was going to do and what I was going to do. So it was very easy.
आशा जी, कितना आप उनको फॉलो करती थी? कितने सॉन्ग्स में आपने उनके पूरे एक्ट को कॉपी किया?
कॉपी तो नहीं किया, लेकिन हाँ, एक पिक्चर में मैंने एक गाने में उनको पूरी तरह से कॉपी किया था. And he was very angry with me.
And what followed that? And कौन सा गाना था वो?
वो आए दिन बाहर की में था, मुझे भी गाना बिल्कुल याद नहीं है, लेकिन I tried to copy him right through.
And because this platform is celebrating women, अभी
yes.
women in science हम लोगों ने celebrate किया, और आपका कहना था कि जो औरतें हैं उनकी जो sheer passion होता है वो बहुत different होता है in comparison to others. तो आप जो लीडिंग लेडीज़ को सिग्निफाई करती हैं 1960s और 1970s की, और उस ज़माने में इट वॉज अ मेल बैस्टियन, द इंडियन फिल्म इंडस्ट्री वॉज अ मेल डोमिनेटेड इंडस्ट्री.
It is still, but anyhow we keep up ourselves and keep our distance and keep our position, so they do not take any advantage of us.
That's brilliant. A round of applause for that, especially from all of us here, the women. आशा जी, आप पहली महिला अभी थी जो फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशन बोर्ड की अध्यक्ष बनी, और वहाँ पर आपका जो स्टिंट कार्यकाल था वो बहुत दिलचस्प रहा, और वहाँ पे भी आप ट्रेल ब्लेजर थी. बड़ी ऐसे यूनिक फैसले लिए आपने, कुछ दुविधाएं भी हुई, बट वो आपका दौर कैसा था?
दिलचस्प नहीं था. Well, I being the first lady, the industry wanted to pull me down. They criticized me. There were certain things which I did not allow to be shown to the audience. I had to censor it, and I did my job to the best of my ability.
Wow. When we look at the entire debate of censorship, we काफ़ी debate हो रहा है. Film censorship की भी बात होती है और OTT censorship की भी बात होती है. ये भी है कि art is for art's sake. आप देखें ना देखें, that's a decision of the viewer. You can change the channel. You have that discretion. What are your thoughts on the entire debate around censorship?
It could be a very long discussion, but the only thing I feel is that there should be censorship because the language which is going is getting very bad these days. And I'm against it, totally against it. Whether it's OTT or whether it's cinema.
आशा जी, मेरी तो आपके फेवरेट गानों की लिस्ट जो है वो बहुत लंबी है, तो मुझे यूं भुला ना पाओगे, एक तो वो गाना बहुत पसंद है, पर आपने इतने सारे हिट गाने दिए हैं, मतलब यू वर द ओरिजिनल हिट गर्ल, योर ऑटोबायोग्राफी इज कॉल्ड द हिट गर्ल। आपके कोई अपने पर्सनल फेवरेट्स, पर्सनल मोमेंट, फेवरेट मोमेंट?
Favorite moments of what?
Of during your acting days or picturization of the song or your personal favorite songs that you've done?
Well, I was very lucky. I had all the best songs, so it's very difficult to, pinpoint which song was the best.
Any a fun moment you had during picturization of any particular song, especially with Shami Kapoor? अगर आपको कुछ याद हो रहा हो, क्योंकि इतने हिट गाने हैं वैसे तो आपके.
When I did Tisri Manzil, there was a song called Aja Aja, which has become very famous.
Ji.
I had a very bad allergy, and it wouldn't go, and I had to shoot. So I called the doctor and I said, I have to go at 2 o'clock, you better see that the allergy is gone. He was too shocked to see me, and he said, my God, I've never had a patient like her. But anyhow, I did go on the set, and I did shoot the whole day.
जी वाह। एक आखिरी सवाल मेरा, आपने कई दफ़ा कई इंटरव्यूज़ में कहा है कि स्टारडम अभी बहुत अलग है, और आपके दौर में आप स्टार रहीं 60s 70s और आज स्टार हैं, लेकिन ये जो स्टारडम आज मैनेज करना होता है, you've said probably that you don't want to be a star in today's time. There's too much pressure to manage the social media, your publicity, marketing, too many things.
Too many things. There's no privacy left. That's what I feel.
So, Asha ji, a rather controversial question, but I'll ask you nevertheless. Among the present generation of actors, male, female, who's your favorite?
Oh my God, that's a difficult question again. I like Deepika very much. I like Alia. And amongst the boys, I like Shah Rukh, I like Amir. They are all great.
और आपने last movie किसकी देखी है? क्योंकि उससे बहुत indication मिलेगा हम लोग को और.
I saw Lapata Ladies.
You loved it?
I loved it.
For its storytelling, or because it did not really have any superstar, but the movie is a superstar.
Yes,
Super
you
hit.
need a story. That's why the Hindi films are not doing too well, because they don't have a story. A story is the main hero of a film. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us, and sorry for making you stand on the stage for that long.
Right.
So, yeah, please come. Thank you so much.
Ma'am will be on the stage. She'll continue to be with us.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. You'll be with us for the next category of awards. Ma'am. Ma'am. For the next category of awards, ma'am.
Let her sit for a while.
Okay. Okay.
It's okay. Maria, no. She has to go down. Yeah.
क्या करना है?
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू सो मच। आगे बढ़ते हैं अगली कैटेगरी की ओर, और जिस तरीके से शाम धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ती जा रही है और इतने अच्छे अच्छे लोगों की बातें सुनकर, इतने अच्छे लोगों से मिलकर आप सबको भी बहुत अच्छा लग रहा होगा, जैसे हम सब एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। अगली कैटेगरी के बारे में बात करते हैं, और वो है स्पोर्ट्स परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द ईयर की। इस कैटेगरी के नॉमिनीज हैं भारत के सबसे सफल पैरालंपिक टीम, जिसने पेरिस में इस बार कई कीर्तिमान स्थापित किए। नीरज चोपड़ा, जिन्होंने पेरिस में अपना ओलंपिक मेडल जीता, मनु बाकर, जो शूटिंग में ओलंपिक मेडल जीतने वाली पहली भारतीय महिला बनी, भारत की मेंस T20 वर्ल्ड कप जीतने वाली टीम, और PR श्रीजेश, जिनके गोल में कारनामे ने भारतीय मेंस हॉकी टीम को ओलंपिक ब्रोंज मेडल दिलाया था, और वो कामयाब रही थी। इस पुरस्कार को देने के लिए मंच पर आमंत्रित करना चाहेंगे हमारे जूरी के मेंबर एडमिरल करमबीर सिंह जी को। सर प्लीज़ स्टेज पे आइए, और हमारे एडिटर इन चीफ संजय पुगलिया जी को। सर प्लीज़ मंच पे आइए।
आप मैंने पढ़ लिया पहले। Sports Performance of the Year, India's 2024 Paralympics team. This is my
जोरदार तालियां।
India's most successful Paralympic campaign to date unfolded at the 2024 Paris Games, where Indian para-athletes achieved an extraordinary feat, securing a record-breaking 29 medals. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in celebrating them as we call
upon them to come on the stage. These are some of the members of India's most successful Paralympic contingent ever. And we have the President of the Olympic Committee of India, Shri Devendra Jhajaria, himself a 3-time Paralympic medalist. Chief Coach, Shri Satyanarayana Praveen Kumar, 2-time Paralympic medalist in high jump, including a gold in Paris. Preeti Pal, double bronze medalist in Paris in the women's 100 and 200 meter T35 category. Yogesh Katunia, who won a discus throw silver in Paris. Sprinter Simran Sharma, who won a bronze in Paris. And Pranav Surma, who won a silver in Paris in the club throw 5 F51 event.
बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो आप सबको. थैंक यू सो मच. भारत का नाम रोशन करने के लिए, तिरंगा लहराने के लिए तालियां रुकनी नहीं चाहिए दोस्तों. और ये कैटेगरी में अवार्ड जीता है T20 वर्ल्ड कप को हरा के, हॉकी टीम को हरा के. इसको याद रखिएगा. तमाम ये असली हीरो जिसको बोला जाता है ना, जो असली इंस्पिरेशन है, असली प्रेरणा है, ये वो खिलाड़ी हैं, ये वो चेहरे हैं. इनके लिए जितनी बातें बोली जाएं उतना कम है. आप सब पे पूरे देश को फख्र है, नाज है. और मैं जानता हूं कि आने वाले वक्त में ये मेडल्स झाझरिया साहब बढ़ते जाएंगे और बढ़ते ही जाएंगे. अब ये सिलसिला रुकना नहीं चाहिए. प्रणब सूरमा
जी,
बहुत 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 बधाई हो आप सबको. हमारे साथ ये देवेंद्र झाझरिया जी हैं. एक
पहले फोटो.
यस, 3-टाइम पैरालंपिक मेडलिस्ट हैं और पैरालंपिक्स एसोसिएशन के अब तो चीफ भी हो चुके हैं और अब तो चुनाव लड़ने का स्वाद भी चख चुके हैं. बहुत सारी क्वालिटीज़ हैं झाझरिया साहब के पास. मारिया माइक दे दीजिए. देवेंद्र भाई, पहला सवाल जो मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रहा हूँ वो ये, भाला फेंकना नीरज के बाद इतना पॉपुलर हो गया अपने देश में, नीरज चोपड़ा के बाद, और आपने तो उसको भी अपनी रोशनी में पीछे छोड़ दिया. तो कितना स्ट्रगल होता है यहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए?
थैंक यू. आज जो ये NDTV ने एक शानदार कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से हमारे पैरा चैंपियन फेडरेशन को जो मान सम्मान दिया है, इसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ. मैं खिलाड़ी के तौर पे मुझे 5 प्रेसिडेंट अवार्ड मिले और पहला जो अवार्ड मिला था मुझे प्रेसिडेंट का, था मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी हुई थी. और जो मैंने एथेंस पैरालंपिक में पहला मेडल जीता था तो मुझे वो मेडल सबसे ज़्यादा याद है. लेकिन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर के तौर पर मुझे पहली बार अवार्ड NDTV ने दिया है. तो ये अवार्ड शायद मेरी लाइफ में मुझे याद रहेगा. एक खिलाड़ी के तौर पे एक भूमिका निभाई, देश के लिए 3 पैरालंपिक मेडल जीते. अब एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव के तौर पे काम कर रहा हूँ और हमारी टीम ने जो पेरिस पैरालंपिक में जो परफॉर्मेंस दी, ये हमारे खिलाड़ियों की एक बहुत बड़ी मेहनत थी. लेकिन इसके पीछे बहुत से लोगों का हाथ था. आज भी मुझे याद है जब खिलाड़ी खेलगांव से बाहर निकल करके वो एक पॉइंट बना हुआ था, वहाँ आपके NDTV की टीम रहती थी और उस टीम को मैं बार बार इंटरव्यू भी देता था. तो कहीं न कहीं देश तक इस पैरालंपिक मोमेंट को पेरिस से पहुंचाने का काम NDTV ने किया. ये बहुत ही बड़ी बात है.
जी योगेश, मेरा सवाल आपसे है, पेरिस के बारे में बताइए. जब भारत का फ्लैग लेकर के आप लोग खड़े होते थे, एक वो मोमेंट जब सिल्वर मिल रहा था, तो कैसा लगता था भारत का नाम रोशन करने में?
बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी हुई थी कि सेकंड टाइम मिला था, क्योंकि टोक्यो में भी सिल्वर था और पेरिस में भी सिल्वर आया। और सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी वहाँ की पेरिस की एक चीज़ की सुंदरता थी कि वहाँ के लोग वो इतने मतलब घुस जाते थे गेम में, हमारे साथ इतना चीयर अप करते थे, वहाँ पर इतनी खुशी मनाते थे, चाहे कोई भी देश का खिलाड़ी हो वो सबको सपोर्ट कर रहे थे। और जब मैंने मेडल जीता और अपना तिरंगा लहराया तो उसकी तो बात ही हमेशा से अलग रहती है, वो कभी एक्सप्रेस नहीं की जाती।
प्रीति, कितनी महिलाएं थी उस कंटिंजेंट में, और आप जब वहाँ पर थी तो भारत को कैसे देखा जाता था, आप लोगों को किस तरह से देखा जाता था?
फर्स्टली थैंक यू, आपने मुझे यहाँ पे इनवाइट किया और पूरी पैरालंपिक टीम को, और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ पर आकर। और जब हम वहाँ पे थे तो पूरी वहाँ पे 16 लड़कियाँ थी जो मेरी उसमें थी इवेंट में, और उसमें मेरा ब्रॉन्ज मेडल फर्स्ट टाइम आया और मैं पैरालंपिक्स में फ़र्स्ट टाइम गई थी वहाँ पे। और सबसे अच्छा वहाँ पे ये लग रहा था कि जब मेरा मेडल आया तो वहाँ पे लोग मुझे मेरे नाम से नहीं जान रहे थे, वहाँ पे लोग इंडिया के नाम से हमें जानते थे।
क्या बात,
ये सबसे अच्छी चीज़ लगी। मैं जैसे देख रही, मैंने झंडा ले रखा है अपनी पीछे, और मैं वहाँ पे देख रही सब लोग इंडिया 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 चिल्ला रहे, वो सबसे बिग मोमेंट था मेरे लिए।
इंडिया इंडिया इंडिया।
यस।
सत्यनारायण जी, अगला सवाल मेरा आपसे है, और एक कोच होने के नाते पैरालंपिक्स का कितनी डिफ़िकल्टीज आपको आती हैं, कैसे मोटिवेट करते हैं लोगों को कि उस लेवल पे जाके खेलना है और तिरंगा लहरा के आना है?
मैं सबको धन्यवाद कहना चाहता है। से अभी इंडिया 20 साल के पहले क्या था वो अभी इंडिया नहीं है। से मैं 84 से इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है एज ए एथलीट, एज ए कोच, एज ए मैनेजर। अभी इंडिया का नाम बहुत अच्छा रिकग्निशन है। इवन पहले हम सोच के जाता था हम पार्टिसिपेट करना है, नाउ अभी हमारा खिलाड़ी लोग का सोच आप लोग सब मिल के वो लोग का सोच चेंज कर दिया, मेडल आप लोग भी जीत सकता है। अभी इंडिया में बहुत सपोर्ट है। ओनली एनडीटीवी इस टाइम पेरिस में आके हमारा खिलाड़ी लोग को पूरा सपोर्ट किया। एनडीटीवी का पूरा टीम उधर था।
और क्या होना चाहिए जिससे जो एथलीट्स हैं उनको सपोर्ट मिले?
यस, ये एक्चुअली सपोर्ट, कभी आप लोग हीरो को रेस्पेक्ट करता है तभी हीरो प्रोड्यूस होता है। आप लोग हीरो को प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है। मैं लास्ट 15 ईयर से मैं ऑब्जर्वेशन में है। इवन एनडीटीवी इस टाइम खुद आके कभी नहीं आया था। सिर्फ मैं वो लाइफ में मेरा 7th ओलंपिक्स था, कभी हमारा इंडियन चैनल उधर नहीं होता था। हमारा लोग को इस टाइम विलेज में भी बहुत लोग देखा। एज ए कोच मैं कब पैरा ओलंपिक में आया था, देवेंद्र 2004 में गया, मेडल जीता था। 2008 में मेडल नहीं है। अभी थ्रू CSR, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, इवन विलेज में हमारा बच्चा लोग, सभी लोग पैरा ओलंपिक बोले तो क्या बोल के सबको समझ में आ गया। एंड अगेन आई थैंक्स all the Indian citizen who all are paid for taxpayer, especially आपका taxpayer का वजह से ही हमारा इंडिया में इतना अच्छा सपोर्ट मिल रहा है। Now my athlete no need to go for any other country. इंडिया में आजकल सब कुछ है, everything is available. मैं ईस्ट जर्मनी में ट्रेनिंग किया when on the 1986, बट अभी ऐसा नहीं है। आप लोग भी, आपका साथ कोई भी है, खिलाड़ी लोग को आपका आजू बाजू में स्कूल में आप सपोर्ट करो। इंडिया अभी एबल बॉडी में क्या परफॉर्मेंस किया है, एज ए एबल बॉडी एथलीट स्टिल हम लोग अच्छा कर सकता है। हमारा पॉपुलेशन का हिसाब से, हमारा क्लाइमेट का हिसाब से, आप लोग का सपोर्ट के हिसाब से हम लोग मेडल क्या जीत रहा है वो बहुत कमी है। आप लोग हमारा को सपोर्ट करो, हम लोग जीतेगा। थैंक यू।
मेरे साथ प्रणव सूरमा भी है। मैं चाहूँगा माइक प्रणव के पास आए। प्रणव, आपसे बड़ा सिंपल सा सवाल, क्या मोटिवेट कर रहा था आपको जब आप पेरिस में थे? क्या मोटिवेट कर रहा था कि क्या करके जाना है? क्या सोच के गए थे?
So this was my debut in the Paralympics, and as any athlete who participates in such big events, I was too nervous. But I had this goal that I had to do my best here, because this chance that I am getting today will again be given after 4 years. So I have to make the best out of it. You know, I had an accident in 2011 which gave me spinal cord injury, and I wanted to quit even before things had actually begun for me. But over the years, I have learned that there is no shortcut to success. You need to put in the hard work. You need to make these sacrifices. And more importantly, it is very important to accept your limitations and recognize your strengths, so that you can use your strengths to overcome those limitations. And I believe some souls have to cover a difficult part to achieve their goals. And but if your plan doesn't work, then change the plan, not the goal. And I consider myself very fortunate and blessed to join the league of those legends who have to purposely choose a different path to achieve their goals. And I'm really happy that I made it today here and won the medal for my country. Looking for much more bigger laurels. Thank you so
Pranav,
much.
thank you so much for that really motivating thought. And you continue to inspire, you know, athletes all over the world. A word also on how, you know, there is this genuine sense that India has started generating a lot of curiosity. The India story is being watched out for. And now we have Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal also among us. Welcome to NDTV Indian of the Year, Piyush ji.
जोरदार तालियों के साथ पीयूष जी का स्वागत. थैंक यू पीयूष जी. एक सवाल और पूछना चाह रहा हूँ मैं पीयूष जी की मौजूदगी में. हमारे तमाम हीरोज़ के साथ असली हीरो है सर, और नॉमिनीज़ में क्रिकेट टीम भी थी, हॉकी टीम भी थी. उन सबको मात देकर हमारी जूरी ने पैरालंपियंस को जीता. इस बार का ट्रॉफी दिया गया है. प्रवीण हमारे साथ हैं. प्रवीण माइक ले लीजिए. प्रवीण, ये बहुत अच्छा मौका है. मंत्री जी सामने बैठे हुए हैं. सरकार बहुत मदद कर रही है खिलाड़ियों की पिछले कुछ सालों से. कहीं कोई चूक हो रही हो, कहीं और कुछ चाहिए हो तो अपनी बात कहिए. अपने खिलाड़ियों की मन की बात कह दीजिए आज.
मैंने अपनी स्टार्टिंग पैरालंपिक्स में 2019 से की थी, और मेरे को जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था तब से ही गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट मेरे को मिलने लगा था, और अभी तक भी मिल रहा है. और मैं थैंक यू बोलता हूँ अपनी गवर्नमेंट को, मेरे को हमेशा सपोर्ट करने के लिए. मेरे को इंजरी भी थी बट सपोर्ट किया, उसके लिए एक बड़ा थैंक अपनी गवर्नमेंट को, स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया को. एंड थैंक यू NDTV. जब हम अपने पेरिस में जब मेडल जीत रहे थे, उस सेलिब्रेशन को NDTV ने अपने भारतवासियों तक पहुंचाया है. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू.
इस बात पर संजय सर मैं आपसे पूछूंगी. सब लोगों ने कहा कि NDTV पर जो कवरेज था वो बहुत अहम था, क्योंकि पैरालंपिक्स यूजुअली कवर नहीं होता था. हम लोगों ने इस बार क्यों एम्फसाइज किया उस कवरेज पे?
तो क्वेश्चन क्या है आपका? तो
ये एम्फेसिस क्यों था हम लोग के पैरालंपिक को भी अच्छे से कवर करें जैसे ओलंपिक्स करते हैं?
एक तो देखो हमारे यहाँ की ये NDTV की लिगेसी है, और दूसरा हम लोगों के लिए जो जर्नलिज्म बोलो, कंटेंट बोलो, जो कुछ भी है वो दिल और जज्बे का खेल है. ये कमोडिटाइज्ड क्रैप वाला जो जर्नलिज्म है, हम उससे हट करके कुछ ऐसा काम करते हैं जो ज़्यादा बड़े इंसानी काम, जो इंडिवर्स हैं, जो एफर्ट्स हैं, जो सेक्रीफाइसेस हैं और जो अकम्पलिशमेंट्स हैं, उनको हम कैसे कैप्चर करें. इसीलिए NDTV इन कामों को बड़े सहज ढंग से करता है. वो कोई स्पेशल आयोजन नहीं है, बस कर लेता है.
थैंक यू सो मच. आप सबको बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो. थैंक यू एडमिरल साहब. थैंक यू संजय जी.
थैंक यू एवरीवन. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम. Yes. Like to call on the stage Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal ji to share his thoughts on Indian of the Year 2024.
आइए सर, स्वागत है आपका. प्लीज कम.
Piyush sir.
पानी भेज देना. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful initiative. And I'm indeed delighted I reached at the right time because it's such an honor to see our Paralympians who make this nation proud. Thank you, Sanjay ji, for honoring them. And thank you for awarding them and recognizing their talent, recognizing their contribution. It really means a lot to all of us. I think not only in this room, but every Indian feels proud about the wonderful achievement our Olympians have demonstrated, particularly when we see this great emphasis coming on as a nation to develop not only the physical infrastructure of the country, but focusing on social infrastructure, focusing on holistic development of every individual. It's indeed a very important day for all of us when we are assembled here today. It is the Mahaparinirvan Divas of Bharat Ratna Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. He gave us the Indian Constitution. He's somebody we all look up to with reverence, the beacon of social justice in the country. And I'd like to say that we are all as a nation obliged and grateful for the stupendous contribution that Babasaheb Ambedkar gave to all of us. In fact, it's also another important day. The 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, sacrificed his life today for the nation. And I think all of us in this country recognize the valor with which he brought an entire nation to live for the country, to work for the country. And that's why when we look at the Indian of the Year award, 140 crore Indians in their own way are contributing to the nation's progress, our prosperity, our future. And every one of them may not be possible to reward each one of them as the Indian of the Year awardee, but every citizen contributing to the nation's better future, impacting the destiny of India, is an Indian of the Year. The Jawans at the border, our farmers who brought us food security, our artisans who take Indian culture, Indian tradition, Indian knowledge across the world, our teachers, our wealth creators, our business persons, our government servants, our media, each one of the young person who's starting up on his own with an innovative idea, the startups of India. And I can go on and on. Every one of the 140 crore Indians contributing to making India a developed nation, a prosperous nation through the Amrit Kal into 2047 when we celebrate 100 years of independence. And the world is seeing the growth story. The world is seeing the India story unfold. I think it's truly a moment in history that we are all privileged to be a part of and privileged to be contributing to. Friends, I was just informed that you chose the Paralympians over the Junior Asia Cup, the hockey team, which won us accolades. I think they certainly deserve the highest accolade, and what they have done, the way they have held the country's head high is truly remarkable. But I would also like to recognize the hockey team as much for their contributions. And I think it's this sports culture that is getting developed very rapidly across the country that's going to also take India to greater laurels across the world. In fact, just this morning, I was informed that a very large sports complex has come up in Ahmedabad at a very huge investment, where nearly 16 or 17 sports faculties will be available, and where we'll be developing our future Olympians from that facility, preparing young India to take on the best in the world. In fact, we in North Mumbai, which I now represent as a Member of Parliament, have also handed over a piece of land, a 37-acre piece of land, to the Sports Authority of India. And in the next 3 or 4 years, we hope to develop that with public-private partnership. And I invite Gautam also to join that initiative. Mumbai doesn't have a sports facility of a world-class nature. And over the years, somehow governments came and went. They were never sincere about sports. It's only in the last few years with Khelo India, Fit India, the conscience of young India has awakened to a new spirit, both competitive, yet also willing to make a mark in the world. And I think this recognition towards sports will take the country to greater heights, both in the international arena and also help our children in their development years. So I'm really grateful that NDTV has taken this up as a mission, recognizing, supporting, informing people about the achievements of our sports person. And this will continue to inspire millions more in the years to come. I'd like to congratulate all the awardees. It's very inspirational to receive an award. It will certainly help them do better in life and will also encourage many others who may not have received an award today, but will be encouraged to work towards becoming an awardee in the future. All those who have had an opportunity to be awarded today deserve our highest compliments. In fact, I was particularly happy to note the Social Impact of the Year award. Has it been given already? Not yet. Has it been announced? Oh, so then I'll refrain from commenting. But I do think that whenever the announcement is made, everybody will be very happy to know about the Social Impact of the Year award. It's a very special award, and I think all those who are going to be awarded as a part of that Social Impact award really represent the changing face of India in the years to come. It's a set of people who we all recognize are going to increasingly play a very important role in the nation's development as we move towards our collective goal to make India a powerful nation. Friends, we stand united today as a proud nation, a nation that has shown great resilience in the face of big challenges, including whether it was COVID or the geopolitical situation and troubled times in which we live. Despite all the difficulties, the world sees a beacon of hope and oasis in the India story, in the India journey. And I'm very sure that going forward, with the collective contribution of 140 crore Indians, we will continue to be an envy of the world, an envy of our neighbors. We'll continue to empower millions of people in India and across the world. We'll continue to be an important player in the world politics and world economics. And clearly, our goal to become the third largest economy in the next 3 years is well on track, and we shall be the world's third largest economy in the next 3 years. If I may leave behind a few thoughts for all of us to work upon. One, I think if we continue to encourage the next generation of leaders as a part of our effort to involve the youth in the various programs that are taken up, we can really empower them and improve the speed of development of the nation much faster. The Honorable Prime Minister is also going to be leading a Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 11th and 12th of January. And I do believe such engagement with the youth and empowering of the youth will have a tremendous impact in the India growth story in the future that we want to craft for India and every Indian. Second, I think each one of us, in whatever field we are working in, we can contribute to this emerging India story. And whatever role we play, big or small, every action, directly or indirectly, will impact the nation's future. And our mindset as a nation needs to be towards much more collaboration, cooperation, working together, competition also. Competition is good for the country. It helps us grow faster and better. But I think it's important that the mindset of the nation remains positive. Unfortunately, there's every effort to derail the positivity and the growth story of India that we experience on more than one occasion. I just wish to urge all of you, and through NDTV, all its viewers and the people of India, that let's keep the positivity in each one of us. The day we start becoming too negative and our mind is always focused on the difficulties or the problems or the negative stories, we are going to lose the momentum that India has today. And this mindset change can only be a collective effort of every person across the country. This will also lead to my third point of promoting the unity and integrity and inclusivity that we are all proud of. Our effort should be to grow, taking along the nation with us. We'll all have to work together for a better future for our brothers and sisters. And finally, a small request, let's all of us agree to be vocal for local. Atmanirbhar Bharat, a nation which is proud of what it can offer, a nation which supports each other, a nation where we prefer the work of our own people over the products that are imported into the country, particularly where equally good, high-quality Indian goods and services are available, is a nation which will progress faster. I can take example of countries like Korea or Japan. The nationalist spirit that they demonstrate, the way businesses and people support each other, is something that we can learn from, we can emulate. And I would urge NDTV, and Sanjay ji, you may give it a thought. It's important that we all work towards the collective ambition to support each other and support Indian entrepreneurs, support Indian artisans, our Vishwakarmas, our MSMEs, our domestic manufacturers, our women who make us proud with their achievements. Let's support each other and take the country to greater heights. As the Prime Minister said, and I quote, 140 crore people of India have joined the resolution of Viksit Bharat, and they themselves today are driving it. I hope each one of you will join in this resolution and become a part of the Viksit Bharat story. Thank you very much. Congratulations for a very successful program.
Minister, and do stay back with us on stage. And you asked about the Social Impact of the Year award. I'm happy to announce that it's up next.
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि अगला अवार्ड भी बेहद ख़ास है. हमारी अगली कैटेगरी है सोशल इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द ईयर और हमारे नॉमिनीज़ हैं द भीष्म क्यूब्स और द भारत हेल्थ इनिशिएटिव फॉर सहयोग हिता एंड समैत्री. ये कॉम्पैक्ट मोबाइल हॉस्पिटल्स हैं जिसे भारत सरकार ने रैपिड मेडिकल सपोर्ट के लिए बनाया है, जो आपदा और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जोन्स में कारगर तरीके से काम करते हैं. दूसरा नॉमिनेशन है ड्रोन दीदी योजना. ये भारत सरकार की पहल है जो ग्रामीण इलाकों में महिलाओं को सशक्त करती है, एम्पावर करती है। ये योजना महिला ड्रोन पायलट्स को कृषि के क्षेत्र से सीधे जोड़ती है। और हमारी तीसरी नॉमिनी है कर्नाटक की सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता डॉक्टर K.S. Rajanna, who overcame polio-related disabilities to empower others with disabilities through advocacy and entrepreneurship.
I'd now like to invite on stage Priyanka Mitra, EVP and Head, HR Distribution, Diversity and Inclusion, Max Life Insurance. Do come up on stage with us to give out this award.
And the Social Impact of the Year award goes to Namo Drone Didi Yojana.
Represents a convergence of technology, gender empowerment towards rural development. By harnessing the potential of drones and empowering women to take charge, the Namo Drone Didi Yojana has become a beacon of hope and opportunity for countless families across India's farmlands. These women, affectionately known as Drone Didis, are not just learning new skills. They are driving real change in their communities and beyond. They are catalysts for economic opportunity and social transformation, paving the way for a brighter future for their families, their villages, and ultimately for the nation. To honor the remarkable and far-reaching impact of the Namo Drone Didi Yojana and to recognize the Drone Didis as the true drivers of change, NDTV is proud to present the Indian of the Year Award for social impact to this revolutionary initiative and the incredible women behind it.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the state of governance, Delhi,
NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show.
The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7. every morning at 8 a.m.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you.
India's Centurion Award goes to Gautam Hari Singhania.
20 वर्षों से नेतृत्व करते हुए चेयरमैन और मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर श्री गौतम हरि सिंघानिया ने रेमंड ग्रुप को सफलता की नई ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचाया है। रेमंड अब अपने 100वें वर्ष में प्रवेश कर रहा है। ऐसे में श्री गौतम सिंघानिया ने कंपनी की नींव इतनी मजबूत कर दी है कि रेमंड आने वाले एक और सदी तक प्रासंगिक यानी कि रेलेवेंट बना रहेगा।